Hey guys, it's Jade.
It's Shawol360.
It's another Produce 48 talk.
Yes.
So I'm going to go for a second to send this on Twitter so you guys can join. I we watched episode 3. Sweet, right? Episode 3.
Roller coaster. Emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching it last night is reason why I don't watch these shows. Because I was like, my emotions was like all over the place last night. But yeah, so if you, I feel like that might be a spoiler, but I'm assuming if you're here, you watched
Don't
the
watch
episode.
this if you've watched
Yeah.
episode 3.
Yeah, don't come and watch it. Don't come in here
Yeah.
if you did watch the episode. It makes no sense. So if you watched it, then y'all know they we found out the grades for all the girls, whoever went up, who went down, things like that. So I think they started with like F and I don't know if they exactly started with like a specific grade, but they pretty much just went to each grade and gave everyone their their reevaluation grade, whether they're staying in their grade, they go up, go down, stuff like that. So we saw that, and that was a mess. I mean, if you go on Twitter, we've known about some already because they had already put some on Twitter because we already know before we can watch it, the subs weren't up yet. So, for those who kind of said, okay, it's going to be for such and such grade, but who went here, went there, whatever. This was before we were able to watch it. So.
I don't think that the English subs came up until Saturday.
Yeah.
Or like early Saturday, late Friday at the earliest, because I actually checked on Friday and they weren't up at that time. It was just the raw.
Yeah.
And since neither of us are proficient in Korean,
No.
there was no way for us to really watch the show while it was without English subs. But there had been spoilers. I know in particular, Imgirl Personal had tweeted about how she was disappointed that the Woolim trainee had gone down a grade. And I think it was important that the beginning of the episode, not only did they show kind of who changed what grade, but for the people who went significantly down or the people who went significantly up, they showed their tape so you could understand why they were being voted that way. Because I think a lot of people didn't get why some people would drop so far down, but once you saw the tape, it was perfectly understandable that they could not maintain their position given the performance that was put before the judges.
Yeah. I mean, whether it was they forgot the dance routine, they didn't know the lyrics, things like that. But like we said in the second episode, excuse me, that we saw that like we said, the Japanese trainees were making more of an effort to learn Korean, and I mean, well, hell, even they were even messing up in their own language, so it was kind of like disappointing. It was like, oh gosh, but yeah, I don't know who it was, but it was very shocking to see someone go from the A class all the way down to the F, not a B, not a C, straight to an F.
But when you saw her audition tape, it was very obvious why she went down a grade.
Yeah.
She literally forgot the lyrics to the Korean, even though she was Korean,
Mm-hmm.
and stopped dancing.
Yes.
Like, I think she just stood there and hummed. And there's no way that you can maintain an A with that. And there were people in the F group that at least finished the song.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to be able to finish the song, then there really isn't anything they can do with you at that point. Because at the very least, you have to try to continue on. Even if you're making something up, you have to try to continue on. And that's why she got bumped down, and that's why other people got bumped way, way up. Yeah. I don't know if anybody from the F class went to the A class or not. I can't recall. There were quite a few people from the B class
I think there
that
was
moved up,
one
though.
girl that went from F to A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was one. I can't remember. I think it might be one of the Korean. I can't remember if it was one of the Korean trainees or one of the Japanese trainees. But I know someone went from F to A.
It was one of the Japanese trainees,
Mm-hmm.
and because she was not there, I recall that Hunky was in the room with the A class, and there's one other trainee that wasn't able to be here because she had a previous engagement in Japan. And that was the girl who went from F to A.
Okay.
Yeah, which we didn't see. I don't think we saw anything else from her on that episode. Or at least if she was further on in the episode, I don't recall seeing her.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it was definitely interesting to see like who got bumped up, who got bumped down, and just watching like all of their reactions when they see someone from like say like an A to a C or B to an F or something like that. Just their reactions and stuff like that, and even like some who were bumped up were saying like they were trying hard not to like show it, like show emotions that they got bumped up because I guess they didn't want to like rub it in people's faces. So they're saying it was like trying hard to like kind of keep a straight face, like okay, I got my grade, okay. But I guess because they were excited, they was trying to. You can see them trying to like smirk and try like not show that okay, I got bumped up and stuff like that. But yeah, that was very interesting. And then I mean, if you watched the show before, whether season 1 or season 2, everyone from B to F, they all get their grades first. A is the one that get theirs last. So whoever went from whoever's grade to A are in the room, and whoever's originally the A class, they get their grade. So they find out in front of them whether they stay or they go. So that's excruciating to watch because you're like, okay, you wonder like, oh, am I going, am I going to another grade? Am I staying? Blah, blah, blah. And I think there was quite a few that went to other grades. Like unlike last season, season 2, all the guys that were in the A class stayed in the A class. So
this season, I think there were only 5 girls left in the A class.
Yeah.
After the voting, it was surprising that so many of them got defeated, but then not so much because, like we said the last time we talked about Produce 48, if you didn't take the time to try to memorize the Japanese lyrics, if you didn't try to finish the routine, if you didn't give it proper energy, you can't hold on to your spot. And that was the big thing that I think knocked a lot of the people from the A class down, is that when they got flustered, they stopped trying. And when you stop trying, you've already lost.
Yeah.
So that was the way the thing fell, but it was cool to see how many people came up from other grades and the surprise of who came up from what grades. Like, there were so many girls from the B class that came up. That was very surprising.
Yeah.
It was surprising that there weren't too many girls from the C class. There's still, I think, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, maybe like a
class.
couple that bumped up from C, but not that many.
Yeah, and then apparently the girl who went from A class to F class was the first time since the show has started that anybody has dropped that far down.
Yes.
But I really do think it's the added challenge of the Japanese.
Yeah.
I think that is the thing that really is knocking people over.
Yeah.
What was funny to me was the girl in the F class, Erie. I think it's Erie is her name, or Irie. I think it's Erie. It's spelled Erii, so
yeah,
pronounce it how you want.
Yeah.
But she was like, oh, I hope I move up in class. I hope I move up in class. And if you looked at any of her tapes, no matter whether it was in practice, the judging tape, anything at all, she is bereft of talent. Like,
it was not going to happen.
She cannot sing. She cannot dance.
No.
I don't think she has any rhythm. Like, the only thing she truly has going for her is the fact that she's young and she's pretty.
Yeah.
Like, she's extremely pretty. Like a China doll. That style of pretty. But in terms of, like, being charming even, like, that doesn't even come off right because she's just so dead on her feet when she moves that it makes you angry. And it was just funny because, like, no one's going to vote for you to go move up.
It was very frustrating to watch, and like we kept reiterating the last time, is the fact that these girls want to either stay in their grade. Well, everyone that's not in A wants to go to A.
Mm-hmm.
But what was infuriating to watch was when they would do it and then they would mess up, but they would just stop. I'm like, they can't evaluate you just standing there touching your hair looking lost. I'm like, they can't evaluate you. At least for those who knew they screwed up, they kept going, whether they messed up the lyrics, whether they hummed it or something. Like, they did something for them to evaluate them on, to be like, okay, well, they messed up on the lyrics, but they still had energy, they still knew the dance, something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that was very frustrating to watch.
Yeah. I think we touched on it the last time about Sakura. And the reason we're talking about her is because it's obvious she's Mnet's fave. And, you know,
Obviously, yeah.
we like her too, but, I mean, it is super obvious she's Mnet's fave. But because it's so obvious that she's Mnet's fave, a lot of people questioned if she belonged in the A class, if she belonged to being the center for the Nikoya song.
Yeah.
But I look at it this way. When it came time to do the final evaluation for the video evaluation, she had one of the strongest video evaluations out there. Not only that, but like she has a winner's spirit.
Yes.
And I say that in the every sense of the word, not just like I have confidence in myself or I'm going to try really hard. When it came down to challenges, like she displays utter confidence. And in a Korea that a lot of people aren't exposed to, that confidence is actually really appreciated because there's so much kind of self-effacing tradition in terms of manners, like you go first, or oh, I'll try to do better when somebody compliments you.
Yeah.
And I think seeing somebody who is that confident, but not like in a braggy sort of way, but like I just really believe in myself. I think there's something very attractive and refreshing about that. And I think that's the reason why she's considered A class. I don't think it's necessarily her dancing or her singing. I really think it has everything to do with the fact that she really is a true winner.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, she thinks strategically, she acts strategically, she utilizes every charm and talent that she has in everything that she does. And I don't know anything about this girl outside of this show. Nothing about it. I never followed AKB48. But I definitely believe that there's a reason why she ended up on this show out of all the people that could have come to represent Japan, because there's just something about her that makes you root for her. Even when she's not the underdog, you still root for her. So I don't have any criticism about the fact that she's an A+, because I imagine just from what we can get from over the camera, in person, she's probably magnetic.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And so, I mean, I think that's it for that part of the episode. But then after that, it's going to the part where they're doing the group battle. No.
They did the filming for the music video first.
They filmed that first.
And all the girls in F were crying because they were not going to be on stage. At the last minute, I
got that so confused.
Yeah, at the last minute, they're like, throw on your costumes, lady, you're going to be at the front. Which, if anybody's watched the videos for Nikoya, you can't see anybody in the front at all.
Like, you can see like a little split second of someone on the floor.
But what's weird to me, and maybe you didn't catch this the way I did, I went back and I watched the Nikoya video because I like a good spoiler. And you actually could see more of like the bodies of the people who were F contestants than you could anybody who was in the D class. Because it was tiered. So let's say this is the diamond that they're on. The front part of the diamond is the A and B girls. Then the C behind them. And in the back part of the diamond is the D. But that diamond is flat.
Yeah.
So you have to go through like a layer of girls to get to the D's. Meanwhile, at the base of the diamond are all the F's. So when they're dancing and it's zoomed out, you can see the bodies of all the F girls. You can barely see anything of the D girls. And I think that if I was to rearrange this again, I would probably put the D girls on the bottom and put the F girls in the back of the diamond. Because I feel like the F girls, you wouldn't be able to see them if they're that far back.
Yeah.
But I guess they figured the diamond is the stage, and if you got an F, you can't be on stage.
Yeah, I mean, that's normally how they do it. Like I said, I watched this part for season 2, so, you know what I'm saying, and obviously A is going to get more camera time, more shine. Of course, the center is going to be, like, risen up, higher than everyone, but yeah, anyone that was, like, in the F, you're on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching season 2, and the guys were upset, they was like, damn, I wish that was me. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But at the same time, yes, you are in the F class. But at the same time, it wouldn't, just the whole thing wouldn't really work if it was just, okay, A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a collective. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Just because they're in the F doesn't mean you don't matter, because at the same time, yes, you were put in the grades you are, but you have plenty of time to get better. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you may be in the F now, but that means that also gives you an opportunity to work 10 times harder to be in the B or in the A. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that's possible. Someone can go from F to A then it is possible, you know.
Yeah.
So they did that, and then we're gonna move on to the group battle.
Yes, which is kind of where the show actually starts for us.
Yeah.
I mean, all the other stuff, of course, you get to know who's favorites and things like that. But watching the group battle, excuse me, it kind of gives you a chance to notice the girls that you didn't notice when all 96 girls are competing.
Yeah.
And part of that is because they don't show you every single audition during the first couple
Yeah, because
episodes.
you can't. Because it'll be even longer.
Yeah, because these are 2-hour episodes.
Yeah, these are long.
It's like watching a movie every week.
Yeah.
But you don't get to see every single audition. You get snippets of here and there, and they try to show a little backstory of some of the people that you find more interesting. So when you get to the group battles, you get to see the group dynamic, and you start to see the faces of girls that you hadn't seen in the past. And that is where you start to really, I think, identify with certain folks, and you start to pick favorites, because you actually get to see kind of how they interact outside of just, this is the face I'm presenting for the judges. Please judge me on this. You get to see kind of how they work with each other, what they really think of themselves in relation to other people, how they deal with stress, you know, how they end up taking maybe the building blocks of a performance and build it up to the point where you're on the stage finally giving the performance.
Right.
And for me, that is kind of where I sink my teeth into, because I don't feel like the auditions really show the other stuff that it takes to be an idol, because most idols aren't solo. Most idols work within a group.
Yeah.
And part of what makes me like certain groups is the group dynamic.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason why I think that the group battles for me are where it starts, because that's when you start to form in your mind, okay, this would be a good this for a group, or this would be a good that for a group, or this person would make a great leader, or that person would make a great vocal, or that person would make a great dancer. Because on your own, you could be anything.
Yeah.
But put you in a group, and where do you really fit? And that's what was exciting to me about the group battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you start. I'm going to turn on the air conditioner. It's hot in here.
Yeah. So if I can remember correctly, Sakura, since she was the center, she was able to pick her team first, which is, you know, I figured that would happen. So she picked her team, and they pretty much called them, the Avengers?
Yeah.
So she pretty much picked the dream team.
Yeah, she picked all the good ones.
Yeah.
As a winner will do.
Yeah, I mean, because she's, like we said before, she's being strategic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you play it that way, it could benefit you on something like a produce one-on-one. I mean, produce for you. You get what I'm saying. So, you know, from then on, people came up, and it was like kind of like this bingo type of thing. You know, you go in and you end up picking a member, and then that was your group. And whoever was left, they were all the last group. Kind of like, not really like kickball. Not really, because, you know, you're not literally picking people. I mean, to be fair, so, you know what I'm saying, because obviously, if it just had been like, oh, I'm going to pick you, it probably would have been like Korean group, Japanese group. It wouldn't be a mix. So you had groups where it was all Korean. You had groups where it was like Korean and Japanese. And then you had that one group where it was the American girl, the Chinese member, Japanese and Korean. So you had a mix in that one group. I think that's the group with
Jarena.
Yeah.
There's Jarena and Yiren and Yuri.
I think
the girl from Frumis was in that group.
Yeah. The Alex Christine
Alex
girl.
Christine was in that.
Yeah.
The girl from Frumis. Jarena, who was the other kind of superstar from the AKB group early on. Mm-hmm. And then Yiren, who I think is the first trainee that we have been told is Chinese.
Yeah.
I don't think they told us any of the other trainees were Chinese.
I think she might be the only Chinese trainee. Like,
yeah.
So there's no Thai trainees or anything. It's either Korean, Japanese, American, or Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
To my understanding.
Yeah, and then there was, I think, two other Korean members.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like the more like racially diverse group of all the groups. And so after they picked all their groups, they had like a board full of songs. They had Korean songs, they had songs from AKB48, and they also had Japanese versions of Korean songs. So like Kara's Mamma Mia, Twice's like Ooh Ah,
The Japanese version.
The Japanese version. I don't think there's a Japanese version of a Blackpink song. No, it's just regular Boombayah.
Yeah, it's regular.
So they had Boombayah.
Did they have the Chinese version? No, I was gonna say I thought they had the Japanese version of Peekaboo, but they did not.
No, they had Peekaboo though.
Yeah, they had Peekaboo,
Mm-hmm.
Boombayah, Like You All from Twice Japanese version, Mr. from Kara Japanese version. They had High Tension by AKB48,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one other song that they had. G Friends.
Love Whisper.
Yes.
And
that's 6 songs.
they had AOA's Short Hair.
That's right. Okay, so that makes 7, which makes sense because I think there were like 14 subgroups.
I feel like we're forgetting a song, but I don't think we are. I don't think so. Cause I mean, like I said, yeah.
If we're forgetting it, it's IOI's Very Very. No. Yeah, that
How
one.
can we forget that song? Yes. So those were the songs they had to choose from. So basically, one person from each team has to, it's kind of like a relay. Not really a relay, but basically whoever gets there first.
Foot race.
Yeah, like foot race.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, unlike the Chinese version where someone got hurt and all that other shit, it was on carpet. So
That helps.
that helps.
One girl did lose her shoe.
She lost her shit, yeah. So, but no one was like really slamming on like hardwood floor. So that was good. So yeah, basically, whoever they just had to just run to the song they wanted to pick, and that was the song they had to perform. And then I think they had to pick who they want to go against. Then one team, I don't know who. I can't remember. It's hard to remember all their names.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really hard to remember all their names.
If you weren't an Mnet favorite, we don't know your name because
Yeah.
they didn't really display it.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard for me to remember names, but somebody picked this one group, and the girl was just like, "We're done."
Yeah, they started crying.
It's like they just gave up
It
immediately.
was the group that got Boombayah.
Yeah, and they said they didn't want Boombayah, but they ended up getting Boombayah, and so they was already done from then. But then when they went up against, I forgot which group, they were like, "We're done."
Well, you know what it was? It was that the one group, the girl was like, from the very beginning, she's like, I picked you girls for a reason. I'm going to get Boombayah, and then we're going to go against the weakest team. Like, she had that
Yeah, so
stuff
she had
lined
a
up.
plan.
Yeah, and
Yeah, she had a
so
plan.
this other group that they went against was like the leftover team. So when
Yeah.
everybody was picking teams, these were the girls that nobody else picked, which a lot of F girls in this group,
Mm-hmm.
Ari, the one we were talking about, the dummy, I shouldn't call her the dummy, just the talentless one. She was in this group, a couple other girls, and there was one girl from the B group that was in here, and I don't know why she was in that group unless like she's severely unlikable or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't come across on camera. But there's a girl from the B group, I think a girl from the D group, and then a bunch of Fs.
Yeah.
And so they were like the leftover group.
Yeah, pretty much.
And all of them were like, I really don't want to do Boombayah because that's not my concept. I'm
Yeah.
like an innocent concept.
Yeah.
I'm a sweet girl concept. And Boombayah has got rap in it.
It's
It's got all these
completely opposite
Yeah.
than what they used to do. So there's
opposite
like,
what they're
no.
doing. And then it's got rap. And they got a whole bunch of these Japanese trainees who barely speak Korean at all.
Yeah.
If they speak Korean at all.
Yeah.
And then they're expected to rap in Korean.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a total setup for failure
And
for
I
them.
don't know I don't think there's any rappers in AKB48. I don't think so. I don't really think they do the whole rap thing in J-pop. I don't really think so.
I mean, there's rap in J-pop, but I don't think that's what they do.
Yeah, I don't. You know how in K-pop there's usually like a rapper. I don't think that's like a important role in J-pop groups.
Mm.
So there may not be someone that's like that just raps. That may not be what they do there.
Mm.
So that's even more of a struggle because they don't rap at all.
Definitely a handicap.
Definitely a handicap. So they were just like, they were
over.
done. It's a
Like, they started
wrap.
crying before they could even practice.
In the line, bawling. Like they didn't even like get to practice. They were like, we're done. I'm like, I was getting frustrated because I'm like, I get it, but you didn't even attempt to, because like you could have been surprised how good it will. I mean, we'll see when they perform the song.
Yeah.
But they just said, "Oh, screw it. We got the song. We got to go
Okay, we
against
lost.
them. We're done." Like they
Yeah.
just threw
Before
a
they
towel.
didn't even do anything.
But yeah, before they even heard the song, before they even practiced the song, they were just like done. So,
But to be fair, it wasn't everybody in the group who felt like this. It was mostly the F girls.
yeah,
Because the one girl from the B was like, "Don't fuck this up for me." You know, she was like, really
yeah,
like,
she's like, I need this way.
I need y'all
Yeah.
to try to hold it together because you're gonna lose this for me, and if I go home, we're gonna be in the parking lot scrapping.
Yeah.
For real. So
Oh yeah,
please, get it together.
And there's another thing. So anyone from 53 and under goes home. So I forgot that. Yeah. So you have the ranking. Anyone that is lower than 53, your ass is going home. And I'm like, I mean.
But let's talk about math for a second. And if I have green in my teeth, it's because I'm drinking a kale smoothie. When they got to the stage for the group battles, and Lee Sung-ki is announcing everybody, he says we have 92 contestants.
Yeah.
Now I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, the reason why it's called Produce 48 is because there's 48 Korean girls, 48 Japanese girls, 48 plus 48 is 96. Where did the other 4 girls go?
Right.
Like, I don't think I've heard anybody talk about that. I haven't seen it mentioned. I mean, I haven't done a deep dive on it, but unless, like, I'm just really faltering in my math, where are the missing 4 girls? Are they all Japanese girls? Are they all Korean girls? Like, what is the deal with
someone
this?
leave? Someone, like, did something happen to where they got kicked off? Like,
I don't know.
We have no idea. So we don't know if they're going to mention this in the next episode. Because, I mean, that is true. Because we thought that... okay, so someone says, he said some gave up and went home. Oh.
See, and I told you, I thought that maybe that was what it is.
Damn, so they just said fucking just left. Oh, damn.
Which, you know, if that's the case.
That's unfortunate.
I'm saying if that's the case, though, Mnet should have said that.
Mm-hmm.
They should have said, sometimes the pressure is too much. And they should have showed them girls packing their bags in the dorm and the other girls
like I swear.
Okay. Yeah, they should have shown that.
I didn't. Okay, so now we know.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not crazy.
Not trying to exploit people for views and likes. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that was a hole because it was never addressed in the course of the actual show.
No, and we watched it. I'm like, I could have, like, something like that they would have mentioned if someone went home. Or something like, seriously, like I said, it's like someone got eliminated for, like, kind of like breaking a rule, or they just up and left. They would have said something. So I'm surprised that they didn't mention it in the episode, or unless they mentioned it in the next episode or something. I'm just surprised they didn't say something before. So
yeah, because here I am thinking my math is totally messed up, and I kept asking Jen, I'm like, are we short some contestants? And she's like, I don't know, I'm not sure. But yeah, I just think that that's something they should have said, and they should have alluded to it in some way, but that just never came across. And that also begs the question, the girl that moved from the F group to the A group was a Japanese trainee. I don't feel like we saw her for the rest of the episode. But she made the A group, so I doubt she would quit the show. So if anybody knows anything about that, you know, let me know. Because I just feel like we didn't see her again after that.
No, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see something like for that. And I just feel like, I kind of feel a way about it because, like, you just quit. Like, if you watch the show, it's not a cakewalk. Like, it's going to be tough. Like, you already know that you got this song, you got to do it in 3 days, and you reevaluate, and then you make whatever, you go from there. So it's like, it's not something that's brand new. I mean, yeah, it is a bit of a monkey wrench having to learn another language, but I just feel like, damn, like, you went all this way to be on the show, and you just, like, fucking quit. I was like, damn, at least, like, I would rather be eliminated than just say I quit. Because it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, because, you know, if you lose, you'd be like, well, you know, I went against somebody better than me. That just is what it is.
You know, I gave it my best.
But, like, if you quit, it almost seems like you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
And it also seems like, you know, kind of like you're half lazy. Like, I don't want to try hard because, you know, I'm going to lose anyway, so I'm just not even going to try. So I'm very disappointed that they didn't address it on the show, that people would have just up and quit. But it is what it is. Now we're on to the group battles. And before we get into the group battle, I just want to say this. Not fond of the way this is edited. Not fond of the way Mnet is editing this at all. After the first group battle, all hell seems to break loose in the editing suite.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the first group battle because it was complete for the most part.
Yeah.
But we can't even talk about the second battle or the third battle because of problems. So let's start with this first battle.
I mean,
G-Friends, Love Whisper between a mostly Japanese group, I think,
so.
or at least half Japanese group.
Yeah.
And then this other group that specifically chose Love Whisper because the girl who was their team leader picked all the cutest girls to be in her group.
Which I think, bad idea. Worst idea.
Yeah, you know, I have to say, K-pop is comprised of many things. It is about visuals.
Mm-hmm.
It is about sound. It is about concept and certain other intangibles. But I do think it's kind of shallow to have a group that's all about the cute.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, cute groups sell, and they sell big.
That's true.
Especially for girl groups. So it's not the stupidest thing anybody can ever do, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it sounds like you're compensating for the fact that there's not other things going on in your group.
Right.
So the cute group, their main hurdle during the lead up to them performing,
hello,
hey, the main complication for them in the lead up to them performing is they couldn't dance.
Yeah.
Girls were cute, singing didn't seem like it was a problem, could not dance.
Nope.
Don't know what the problem is there.
Yeah, and we know, if anyone knows G-Friend, their choreography is
yes. G-Friend is the hardest dancing girl group in K-pop. Name another one if you want to. The only group that touches them for hard-working dance is After School. But G-Friend, of the idols that are active right now,
yeah,
the hardest working girl group when it comes to choreography
yes,
in the market.
Yeah, I can't think that's a beside, but I'm saying like that's out now. It's only G-Friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some, yeah, but I don't think anyone like dancing can really touch G-Friend.
No, not at all. And that's been that way from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that says there.
Oh, I said agreed. Yes.
Yeah, so
absolutely. So
you pick a group that's known for choreography as well as being cute and also having good vocals.
Yeah.
And you are weak in dancing.
That's why I'm irritated because I'm like, cuteness. You can be cute, but can you sing? Can you dance the song? Like you can be cute all day, but if you can hit them notes, okay. If you can hit them choreo, okay. But cuteness is not going to get you in the top whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to send your ass home. So I'm just sitting here like, that was no. This is no. You don't do this now. This is not part of the game when you do that. Mm-hmm. Not at all. So I mean, honestly, with the editing within that, I'm not surprised. Because after watching Show Me the Money and I'm Pretty Rap Star, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Not the slightest.
So we got to see them struggle through their choreography. For the other group, it was kind of the opposite issue. Yeah. Choreography-wise, they seem to be doing okay. Did not have a singer in the house.
No.
And you've got Yuju, I believe. Yes. Who's the lead singer for G-Friend?
Yes.
Yeah. Who can actually sing.
Yes.
Like that girl, honestly, I'm waiting for her to go solo. Because
she's supposed to come out with a solo song soon.
It needs to happen because she can sing. She is actually one of the most athletic dancers in G-Friend. Like she's got the whole package. Yeah. And her high note is the highlight of the bridge of the song. And they didn't even have a half decent singer in their group. So it was tough. It was very tough because they just didn't have it. And so you wondered, like, which one will outrank the other? A group with lots of personality and decent dance, but with no vocals, or a group that has visuals, not so much personality, not so much choreography, but was lucky to actually have real vocals, and not just real Korean vocals, but real Japanese vocals, which that has been the main complaint of almost every judge in the show is they got some half-decent dancers here, they got some real cute girls, some real nice personalities, but the vocals are trash. Yeah. And it's not their fault, because one of the main things that Hanki said early on, which I'm so glad he's on the show, they couldn't have picked a better person to be a judge on that show, honestly. Yeah. But he's like, I've been in Japan off and on my entire career, and I can tell you when Japanese girls sing, it's a nasal singing. in K-pop, they sing from their abdomen. And that's because when they're on the stage, they're dancing really hard, and you can't project and keep your voice steady if you don't have a strong core.
Right.
And so a lot of the Japanese singers, they sing like this.
And right, and the choreography is simple. They're not doing no peekaboos. They're not doing no. Hell, they're not even doing like any twice. And twice's stuff is simple.
Yeah.
Like their choreography is very simple, and the singing
We're
is very
so cute.
it's very like the
We're
same
so
level. Where in Korea, y'all.
Yeah, in Korea, you're doing a lot. So you have to be able to keep it steady all throughout, and that means singing from here instead of singing from here.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the Japanese singers, it's been a struggle because this is where they want to go, and it's trying to teach them to go lower.
Yeah.
But they actually had a really good Japanese singer, and she pulled off that note.
Yeah.
So after the performance, we were kind of like, who's going to win?
Yeah, I mean, each group had pros and cons.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, like, who is the crowd going to vote for?
Yes, and we didn't know it at the time. Well, Jade might have known because she's further along in Produce 102, but I had never watched Produce before. I didn't realize that during the group performance, instead of voting on which group is your favorite, they vote on which entertainer you like the best.
Yeah.
And they get individual points as an entertainer.
And then the whatever amount, like the total number wins.
Yeah. So when it came to these two groups, there was a lot of personality on the one side, like we said. The group that had the lesser vocals, a lot of personalities. One of my favorite Japanese girls, Noe, was on there. So a lot to like. And when the voting came, it was like Group A, which is our not as good singers, and Group B, which is our cute girls who sing good. Group A kept slaughtering. Like, they kept beating them. And it'd be like, 50 to 20, 80 to 15, or, 90 to 75. They get to the very last ranking. And Group A, their person gets 20 points. Group B gets 330 points. It was totally a landslide.
Absolutely.
And if it hadn't been for that last set of voting, there's no way in hell that Group B would have won. Because again, their dancing was subpar. And they were cute girls, but they didn't know what the hell to do with their faces. Like, you can dance like this the whole time.
Yeah, if you want to go for that, it's
I'm a robot.
That Disney,
Yeah.
it's a.
But if you have somebody dancing, it's like,
right, like they have like the personality comes out. Yeah,
personality. So, 330 to 20. Totally knocked Group A out of the running. Group B won, which the prize was, if you're Group 1, everyone in your group got 1,000-point bonus when it came to voting, which basically means you are automatically guaranteed to move on to the next round.
Yeah.
So it was unfortunate for Group A because, like I said, there were some really good personalities there, some people I really liked. I really liked the girl who was their group leader. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah.
I really liked Noe. I've always liked Noe, though. Her and her husky voice and her fun personality. So it was sad to see that that's how it came out, but at the end of the day, you couldn't deny Group B definitely mollywopped them on vocals.
Yeah,
just slaughtered them on vocals.
I felt like if she didn't hit that note as well as she did, it would have been completely different.
And she hit it so good. She was so stable. But the other girls in the group really could, like, carry their weight.
Yeah.
One of the things that I said when we were listening to Group A was they sounded like a children's chorus.
Yes. Very one level. There was no harmonies. It was like, I mean, you can, in G-Friend songs, it's not like, crazy runs and all of that, but it's not all like one level.
Yeah, I guess it's the difference between like playing a piano and doing it kind of key by key and being able to like glide along the piano. Right. It was just a lot smoother with that Group B. But yeah, it ended up being Group A that lost, so they'll be up for elimination. We'll see what happens. Then we had the next battle. Now the next battle was supposed to be interesting because there was one group that people thought was going to be a stronger group in terms of just like the way that the group is made up.
Yeah.
Against a group that had 2 crowd favorites. And they showed the performance for the first group. And we're like, okay, cool, got it, get it good. We're ready for the second performance. Do you know what happens? They show a totally different setup for a totally different
y'all,
song.
we gonna go to the third one. We was like,
what happened?
What?
How do we do a group battle and half the group battle is gone? You don't show us the other side of the battle? Because the group that went first was the group that had... Was the group that had Getty? Was that the first? I can't recall. I can't recall. Sorry about that. But it really was a matter of, like, which personality you like more. Because there was one group that was, like, the group that had the girl from Us,
mm-hmm.
and it had Jarena and Alex.
Yeah.
So, what did it say?
Mnet Evil, the devil editing.
It is an absolute fucking worst.
To a T.
If you had been in the room with us, we screamed when the one girl got 330. Both of us screamed in tandem. But then both of us, at the same time, as soon as they showed the group doing very, very, like, what the fuck? What are you doing? I mean, because we knew, like, the show was almost over. There were, like, 4 minutes left, and we were both thinking, how are they going to show all the everything for this other group?
Yeah.
There's not enough time.
Yeah.
It would have been one thing if they had, like, teased their performance, like, okay, here's all the backstage drama. Wait till next week to see if they pulled it off.
You know, slow-mo to the stage and get in a position, and then next week.
That kind of dramatic.
Yeah, and then
you know.
Next week I'll produce 48. No! And this is why.
Yeah.
This is why. I always stress the fact that I don't watch these goddamn shows because I'm like, ugh! I was so hurt.
It was painful. Like, it made me almost be like, fuck it, I'm not watching the show no more. Because I'm so mad at it.
Like, it's only going to get worse from here. It's only going to get worse from here. Yeah. Absolutely. Especially, like, when they start doing, like, the original songs.
Yeah, the original songs are going to be best.
It's going to be... Oh, jeez.
But yeah, it was the Peekaboo group. Because I remember one group, they're called Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And the other group's name was something super stupid.
Kiss something.
I was like,
kiss something.
Kiss my ass. Kiss me never.
kiss some weird, like kiss something.
Kiss you under the tree.
It was some. It was a weird.
It was wild.
Some crazy. Of these names that came over with like Giant Baby.
Yeah,
like,
Giant Baby was another one. We're like, what?
That was Team 2, right? For the G-Friend song. Yeah, I was like.
Yeah, it was. Okay. One was like Team We Make You Happy. The other was Group Giant Baby.
Something like that. It was like
Pikachu. Pikachu was cute because, you know, peekaboo, and they're like, Pikachu, and it was like, aw, cute. But also because I think that was a meme for the song anyway when it came out.
Okay.
And then the other group was like, Kiss My Draws. I don't know. It was Kiss something.
It was some weird shit.
Weird.
It was like, y'all came up with that?
But we were ready. We were ready because Group Pikachu, I think, is the one that had Gary. In fact, I know it was because they showed them with the choreographer. And the choreographer was like, I think that Yi Ren is a better center than you would be.
Yeah.
Because she tried to challenge her and she's like, no, y'all picked the right one in the beginning. So that's how I know that one definitely had Gary in it. But the other group, I don't know because they didn't get their backstage part because of the evil editing.
Not yet.
But it seemed that the other group had some stronger singers in it. So I was very interested to see how their performance was going to come out. I was very interested to see how the battle was going to happen.
Yeah, man.
I was ready for it. And then we watched somebody else practicing Nomo, and it's just, it threw everything off.
Because at first, I thought that they had like a special performance. I'm thinking, oh, I will come back, okay. No. Because how Lee Sung-gi like set it up, I'm thinking, like I said, like, okay, we had them perform, so we're going to have like this special, like kind of like an interlude type thing. That's what I was thinking.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it was like, oh, this group was well loved. I'm thinking, oh shit, I like it back together. That's lit. No. It was just the other team doing very, very well. I was like,
it was so disappointing, man.
I went from here, then I went down. I was like, oh.
So disappointing. And I just, you know, I get it. You're trying to drum up interest for the next episode, but there's a way to do things that are fair, and there's a way to do things that are unfair, and I feel like this was an unfair way of doing things. I thought it was cheap.
Yeah.
I thought it was really super cheap.
Yeah.
So while we were in the car on the way to the grocery store today, I mentioned an idea that I think would be a great idea for the next season of Produce 101, because obviously this thing is not going to die until they can't make money off of it anymore. Once the group debuts that flops, then there are going to be no more seasons, because it's just the way the cookie is.
Right.
But I know personally, one of the things that I really enjoy about K-music, I'm going to say K-music because it transcends K-pop. I'm really into K-hip-hop, K-R&B. And a lot of the people from K-hip-hop and K-R&B, they're really coming into visibility in the Korean public. Not just like, oh, that's the underground scene, but like they're on shows. For instance, we were watching The Call earlier today.
Yeah.
And, you know, BY, Penamiko, Gray, Sudan, all these other kind of rapper, hip-hoppy people, R&B people, they're being embraced on Variety. They're being embraced on music shows. And I think that the next season of Produce would be really awesome. Instead of doing another Unpretty Rap Star, bring in
keep that.
half idol girls and half indie girls. And I think that would be awesome because you can change the format of the show to make it about being able to produce your own stuff. Because that seems to be a big thing with everybody, is like idols aren't really artists. So this would be an opportunity for an idol to prove that they're an artist.
Right.
And so it could be that the first challenge is, you know, whoever makes number one on the indie side, you get to rap the bridge for the Pick Me song of the year.
Yeah.
You know, and then when it comes to doing the performances, you have to swap out a verse with a handwritten verse, or you have to change the arrangement of the song so it sounds different than the original. So if you're doing Twice, instead of Twice's TT sounding peppy, you need to make Twice sound like a mid-tempo ballad or a 90s song or whatever else. I think that would give a new dimension to the show, which would make it interesting, keeps on changing the concept.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what they're going to do next season is they're just going to take a group of 48 boys and they're going to get 48 Japanese boys and they're going to make it happen.
Just this show.
I think
just with dudes.
Probably some Johnny's boys are going to end up showing up. Because I think that's the big group, is Johnny or Excel.
I know Exile. Exile. I know Exile is the thing, but I think the thing with Exile, to my understanding, is it's like 40-some people. Mm-hmm. Only like a certain member are actual singers. The rest are just dancers. They don't sing. They just dance. So and I think the ones that sing are like in their 40s. Like these are grown men that actually like sing the songs. So I mean, but if they decide to do that with like another, like a younger group, I can see that.
Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be one of these younger Japanese groups, or a number of these younger boys, and they're gonna come in, and that's gonna be the thing. Yeah,
I mean, because we're seeing how it's working with the girls. I don't see why they wouldn't do it with the boys, because, you know, especially how we see with 101. Not saying that people don't care about the girls, because we've seen IOI. They were successful, not as successful as 101, but they were successful. But we've seen 101 blow the fuck up. And can you imagine Japanese trainees and Korean trainees, guys in a group?
Maybe a couple Chinese ones, just
right.
Throw it in for flavor. You know
what I'm saying? We all know that boy groups run K-pop for the most part. I mean, like, because we know a lot of people say, oh, I'm more of a boy group stan, even though you do have your girl group stans and stuff like that. But we all know that just for some reason boy groups just prosper more. You know what I'm saying? So that would be definitely, I can definitely see them doing that next season. But another thing with like K-hip-hop on Variety, Weekly Idol did an episode with Higher Music. That's never been done before. Mm-hmm. Like, they had a whole episode with the members of Higher Music. I actually watched it. It was actually a pretty funny episode. But yeah, so like, yeah, I'm glad that K-hip-hop is not underground anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, oh, the only time you see them on TV is Unpretty Rap Star or Show Me the Money.
Yeah, or Yo Sketchbook.
Or Sketchbook, yeah, and that's only for certain people. Mm-hmm. Like, you'll see like a Jay, Crush, Zion T, Dean, like those big artists, but you won't see like.
You're probably not gonna see a DPR right now.
That would be dope though. That would be dope if he was on there.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna see a DPR, like you're not gonna see a C Jam. You're not gonna see Um, I should know these things.
There's so many of
There's
them.
so many.
There's so many.
Like you're not gonna see
Yeah,
a Ready.
on, hoodie.
Right. You're not gonna see you dance. You're not gonna see like a G2 on there. Hell no. No. But you get what I'm saying. So I'm glad that they're more coming into like the mainstream, but they're still being them. They're not like conforming in a way. But yeah, the call is actually like a really like I've seen a couple like clips. It's actually a pretty good show.
Yeah, it's a really good show. But I mean, you know, you've had AOMG on SNL before. There's definitely a market for these people. They're well known. They're well liked. They chart well. I think it could work, and I think that you could couch a show in a way to where it doesn't make it to where by being on the show you're a sellout.
Yeah.
You know, because if you make it to where the hip hop stars, you know, have judges that can be respected, like Show Me the Money, then you're gonna get more hip hop people that are gonna want to come. You know, you can't have a show where all of the judges are idols. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But if you manage to get a show where you've got a Zico as a judge and you've got a primary as a judge, you know, people who are in the industry doing the things that they want to do and saying, it's cool for you to audition for this show because there's really something here for you, I think that would be amazing. I just don't know how that would happen or if they would even want to do it, because I think the big taboo or hurdle with the whole idol thing is the makeup and the dancing. I don't even think it's the fact that they sing love songs or that they cater to young girls.
They do that in K-hip.
Yeah,
but it's just like the whole idol world is just something they're not into.
I think it's the dancing and the makeup, because like Crush, for instance, if you watch Crush's first two videos, he was trying to dance. For Hug Me, and sometimes he was trying to dance.
Yeah.
He doesn't dance no more, unless it's, you know, do a quick, you know,
side
to
roll,
side, little bop, you know,
Mm-hmm.
something. But he doesn't really try to dance. And I think I was watching some random show he was on, or maybe a stage performance or something, and he was dancing. I forgot he could dance because he just doesn't do it anymore.
No.
And so I would really like to see kind of that taboo being overcome. If it can be, I don't know, but I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, it was surprising for season 2 seeing Don Mills on there as a producer for the rappers, because again, he's not a big name in K. Like, he's known, like, if you're underground, you know who he is. But like I said, he's not a Zico, he's not a BY, he's not that. So it was surprising that they had him, of all people, on Produce 101 last season. I can understand Cheetah because she's
a winner of one of these competitions.
Yeah,
shows.
she won the first season of Pretty Rap Star, and she, you know, she doesn't, like, she's kind of like, I don't want to say the same lane as Hayes, where it's like she can do K-pop but K-hip hop.
Hayes would be another great judge for a season like that.
Yeah.
Because she is that bridge between, like, you know,
That's true.
all out star rocking the charts, but again, my roots are in hip hop and indie. I do that thing.
Yeah, I would have said Mad Clown, but he's just boring. Like, after watching him, season 5, Show Me Money, no. Because, I mean, he's another one that he's boring. Like,
he's boring when he raps. He's just boring.
Yeah, so I would have, just on the fact that he does, again, bridge that gap between, you know, you can see him on music shows and do things with idols, but he's still hip hop, but just him, he just.
I think Loco would be a good choice.
Loco.
He's fun.
Yeah, like I said, of course, like I said, we said Zico, obviously, because, you know, he's done this before, so he's already done this before.
Yeah.
Gray
would be fun.
You know,
especially
Gray.
Like if you're looking for a producer, Gray would be a great choice,
you know what
for
I'm saying?
adding a producer.
Right, and he sings and raps, so you got that too. I would say
Jay Park, if he was willing to do it. But
if he wants to, but
yeah,
I don't think
that he would want to.
No.
But if he wanted to do it, I think he would be great, because he would be the perfect idol to indie person.
Yeah.
Because he took that thing backwards. So while you're asking the idols to get more independent, and you're asking the independents to get more idol. Jay's done both, so he would be a perfect judge for this because not many people can say they've done the same. Zico probably is the closest, but he went like underground and the idol route, and then he's respected on both planes. So those two would probably be the ideal judges for this thing, along with Hayes.
I mean, I would say CL because her judging on Mix 9, the episode she was on, she did good feedback. It was just Mix 9 because Mix 9 was just bad. But her as a judge, I did like her as a judge when she was on Mix 9. So if that's something she wants to do, she can do that too. Not so Jessie. Well, I mean, she does sing and rap, but
I don't think Jessie ever really got on the way she should have. Like, I don't think that the music she put out after Unpretty Rap Star really put her on the plane that she needed to be for her to continue to be considered in the same conversations as Hayes.
I mean, because I know like people like that said Onion song, but that was really it. Not saying her songs are bad, but it's not. She's not making songs like a Hayes, you know what I'm saying? Where she where she's like really singing, and plus her voice is definitely different as well because she has that really raspy tone.
She has kind of a Little Kim type of vibe to her.
And I guess people might think, you know, when you first look at her, she does look a little intimidating, but we all know that's not really her personality.
I think that is her personality.
I think I would like she's about to slap bitches on.
I would like her to stop tanning. I think that would be a big thing for me is to quit tanning. You know, not because I feel like she looks terrible with the tan or anything. I just think that visually it's too much. You know, it's the super tan skin, the super bright blonde hair, the long nails, the very strong makeup. Like, it's a lot to get over. To the point that you almost miss the song for the visuals that she's giving you. So I think that I would like to see her with kind of a more stripped down look and then bring that out to the table.
Like, where's Verbal Jim? Where is he at? Like, he's been ghost for a minute. That's another one.
Do you think he's in the military?
No, he's deep in his 30s, so I think he already went. I think maybe.
I don't know.
Because I've been heard from him in a while. Like he's another one that can do like same. It's like him and I put him and Mac on the same lane because again, they are K-hip hop, but they can do things that's in relation to K-pop and it works. I just don't know like where he's been at, but
yeah, that would be my idea for producing.
I mean, that would be different because
concept.
It's like you don't want shit to get stale because like how many times you want to see the same show, you audition people, blah. It's like you don't want it to just stagnant. It's just like okay, you need to.
Like the only thing they could do differently is if they do another girls season, but this time they bring in 10 SM trainees. Are you bringing like a fleet of JYP trainees? Right. Because then I think it would shake people a little bit if like all the big three were to bring their girls. Because then the other kids like, well shit, we already lost because they're big three. So that would be the thing if you brought in like a bunch of like Pledis, Ulim, FNC, SM, JYP, YG, Cube, Starship, like the bigger companies. And it was big company versus little company. Like not people that used to be on there, but like that are active trainees on these companies. Because we like, especially like with YG, like he's never sent like a YG trainee. He's always been like someone from a subdivision or someone that was on it but left. You know what I'm saying? Like a model trainee or a former trainee. But I think if you bring some active people, especially like if you were to bring in 3 SM girls and like we're a part of SM's new girl group, we're here to compete to see whether or not we have what it takes to debut. And then that's more attention for the girl group for when they debut. It's like a win-win. I mean, at least I think it is. But speaking of win-wins, shall we talk about NCT? I have a question for the audience. Not that we have anybody watching, but can someone please explain to me what the concept is for NCT today? I say today because if any of you recall, when we were first introduced to the idea of NCT, we were told that neoculture technology was a concept where it was an ever young, ever revolving door boy group.
Right.
And that the name of the different units was going to be based on their physical location. So in NCT 127 is the Seoul unit. And there was going to be a Chinese unit and a Japanese unit and a Brazilian unit. And they were, from what I recall, tell me if I'm wrong, they were going to all sing the same song, but in these different languages, I think.
Yeah. Just different locations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
NCT, not that long ago, released their Japanese debut under NCT. Not under NCT 285 or whatever the numbers would have been for Japan, but just NCT. And it wasn't all Japanese people that debuted in this group. It was quite a few Korean members. Is the original NCT concept dead? And if so, we'll let him confirm this. Because I'm thoroughly confused. Because I don't recall in the initial description of an NCT that an NCT Dream was going to be a part of this.
Right.
I also am confused about, are they still going to do this revolving door of people in and out the group? Or did they decide that's a horrible idea?
Right. Are they going to debut more, or are more people going to come into this whole NCT thing? Because from what I can remember when it was on Weekly Idol, they said that NCT Dream had no leader. I could have swore it was Mark, but I digress. According to them, they said, hold on, it says, I think it's dead because of the problems with China.
Even if you have the problems with China, because I know that China had the Hallyu ban, there still should have been the Japanese unit.
So I'm pretty sure SO's confused too.
We're so confused.
We're so confused.
Okay, so NCT Dream. You were talking about that just now.
Yes, so when they was on Weekly Idol, because the hosts were confused. Because, you know, they've only seen NCT 127 on the show. So this is the first time they've seen everybody. And mind you, Kun hasn't officially debuted yet, so there's actually only 17 people that debuted. He hasn't debuted yet. The only song he was on was Without You, the Chinese version. That's it, but he's not in a group. So it's kind of like weird with that. So they were confused as well. And they was asking, okay, what is NCT? Because we're confused. So is everyone else. So according to Mark, let me know if I'm wrong. He said there was no leader. The only one that has a leader is NCT 127. That's Taeyong. There's no leader of NCT U. There's no leader of NCT Dream. And they said there is an infinite amount of members and they rotate. That's what he said.
That don't sound like nobody's explanation at all. And further, I feel like it's nobody's explanation because the NCT Dream thing, I'm not sure how that factors into the location-based model that we were promised by SM.
Yeah.
So what is an NCT Dream? And is it something that, like, when you hit 19, you're out? Like, when you become a legal adult, you're out? And if that's the case, do they go into NCT 127?
Or NCT or just to make another group?
Yeah, do they kick somebody out when one of the Dream members comes of age? Like, I have no idea. And I'll tell you, I think that this kind of nebulous, ambiguous, not clearly defined thing has been the root of the reason why people haven't been able to latch on to NCT the way they want to. For international fans, I think it's been different, definitely, because there's a lot of like label loyalty when it comes to certain groups.
Right.
But in Korea, I think the reason why NCT hasn't really done what they should have done in Korea is because people are afraid to love certain members of NCT because they don't know if they'll be gone.
Right. Especially, I think the most confusing one is NCT U. Because you all know it started off with Taeyong, Mark, Doyoung, Jaehyun, Tae. 5 people, right? They go ghost for 2 years. They come back. We add people. Lucas, Jungwoo, and Winwin. Oh yeah, and Taeyong. I keep forgetting him. So it's like, now we're down to like 9. So it's like, huh? And then they come back. 10's not in it. 10's doing some solo shit. So we like, is he still in the group or nah? What's the deal? Cause I'm confused. Like, they confuse me the most, and that's my favorite one. But I'm confused as hell. But yeah, I think what could possibly happen with NCT Dream is that, yeah, when it gets to a certain age, they either get put into one of the other units, or they make a whole new unit, and then whoever comes in, like a new member that's under that age range, they may be NCT Dream. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But it's a headache. It's a headache.
It's very frustrating for me. I don't know whose album I'm buying. I just know I'm not buying NCT Dream. That's really the only thing I know is for sure. I'm not buying NCT Dream, and I'm not buying NCT Japan. Even though it's not called NCT Japan, it's just called NCT, which I thought NCT doesn't exist because NCT is the everything. So wouldn't everybody be in that?
I could have swore they said NCTU was like the main unit from the jump. Again,
so what is an NCT? Isn't NCT just the name of the concept? So what? Why is the Japanese debut NCT instead of NCTU or again NCT Japan? Or I don't know what the hell is going on, and it is beyond frustrating for me.
It is, and I've always said this. This only works in Japan. When you have all these members, it only works in Japan. It's not going to work here. And like, okay, now it's like 18. Don't add no more people. Leave it at 18. Because because there's still people to this day that be like, I don't know who's who. Now, unless you're like,
I have no idea.
Yeah, like I can pinpoint now. Scratch that. I think I can name everyone except for like some of the NCT Dream members. Or maybe if I look hard enough, I could. But if you aren't that type of person that can pinpoint who's who, you're going to be stupid confused.
Like me. I recently bought a copy of Limitless. Because, number one, I like the music. Number two, it was the most talked about album packaging of last year because it was the worst album packaging of last year. And it earned that title justifiably. Oh, yeah. And three, I kind of wanted to get NCT 127's music. Like, again, I don't know what all these groups are, but I know I wanted everybody but Dream, basically. And this was getting that. Yeah. So I went ahead and I bought it. Y'all, I opened that thing up, and besides all the shit that floated out of it, stickers and emblems,
it's worse in person than watching on. It's worse in person.
It's absolutely. It is. It is like when somebody gives you a gift card and it's filled with confetti, and you're mad because it's everywhere, and you're like, I get what you were trying to do. You were trying to be fun, but this is just annoying. Yeah. That's the feeling of opening that album. But I didn't recognize a single person, but maybe 2 or 3.
She had to ask me.
I had to ask her for every single. Not only that, but I was seeing the same person in different outfits and had to ask who they were again. Yeah. Like I couldn't even tell from outfit to outfit.
Yeah, because they had this whole red blue thing. So yeah, and it was like a completely different look from the other. So yeah, she had to ask me because I'm the one in this room that's more knowledgeable of NCT.
Yeah, I just want to listen to some damn music. That's really my thing. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so lost. Do you know it took me a full year and a half to get all the names of everyone in EXO? And that's not even like getting all their real government names. That's knowing all their nicknames. Being able to identify that this is Chen, this is Suho, this is Kai. It took me a year and a half to do that. And that's 12 people. I'm not going to remember 18 people, and half of them are minors. Like, it's just not going to happen. And if you add more people, I'm not going to remember them either. I'm grown. I'm done doing homework. I'm not trying to study to try to figure out who I'm looking at, who I'm listening to. Yeah. It's not fair. Yeah. So I'm thoroughly flummoxed with this whole thing, and I want to talk about it, even though I hijacked Jay's video, but I needed to talk about it because it is beyond frustrating for me. Yeah. Beyond frustrating. Yeah. It's actually making me mad. It looks like we missed some content.
Okay, so we have one that says, yeah, I thought Mark was the leader of Dream, but he's leaving Dream, and NCT in total should have 40 members. As where do they put the other 22 people? Questions that need answered. I have no idea.
40 people? Are you fucking with me?
Stop.
I'm not gonna remember 40 people. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. I don't even think I got 40 people in my family, to tell you the honest truth. And there's people who's like cousins who are children of other people's children that I don't know their names. I don't know when they were born. I don't think I can spot them on the street. If I can't do that with my own family, what makes you think I'm fixing to remember 40 strangers?
That's too much. That's way too much. It is. Like I said before, it should just, you have them now, stick to what you have now.
And it's a merchandising nightmare. I mean, okay, if I like Shiny, I'll give that example because I do. If I want to buy Minho's merchandise, his merchandise is available. It's 1 out of 5. If you got 40 people, are you really doing personalized name tags and personalized bracelets, personalized fans? Oh no.
Because there are people that collect for NCT. I'm like, good luck with that.
Or like, okay, EXO's light stick, if you have a genuine one, it comes with like this sheet of stickers that has the names of all the group members so you can put their name on your light stick. Mm-hmm. Imagine 40 members and you gotta try to pick a name. Just multiple sheets. You know.
Oh gosh. Okay. It says, do you think they'll put them in totally different groups other than the other 22?
I hope so. I mean, I almost feel like at this point they could pull an EXO and do like, NCT. Well, it wouldn't be an EXO, it would be an NCT. They'd pull an NCT and actually have these subgroups like they're supposed to have.
Oh, I have to charge my phone.
See, that's why I asked you if you needed
it. It was at 80-something%.
Yeah, but we talk forever.
Yes.
Here, I'll let you charge it.
Okay.
If the thing starts shaking, it's because we're charging up so we don't have to leave.
Yeah.
But yeah. I feel like they should, at the very least, pretend to follow the original concept. Don't do confusing things that obviously show that you've given up on your initial concept and you're just doing whatever you think can make a little money right now. Because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like a cash grab. And I'm not pleased with it. Not pleased with it at all.
Yeah, and then you notice when NCT comes to America, it's only NCT 127. It's never Dream. It's never you. It's only NCT 127.
Which, if you get all the members of NCT, that's practically an SM town. They ought to all come. Really?
Right.
Oh, there's another comment.
So Anthony said hi. Hi, Anthony. Hi.
Another. Weird.
This is a headache. I love it. I really do like NCT. I really do. I like the music. I like the people involved. It's just the concept is completely screwed. And SM needs to do something. I'm like, please, no 40 members. Like I said, this concept only works in Japan because there are multiple groups like that in Japan. There's not a group like that in Korea. It's not going to work. It's really not. It's really not. I'm like, no, just no.
No, leave it alone.
Just leave it at 18 and just keep on keeping on.
But let's talk about something that was confusing at first but was exciting after we realized what was going on. Taeil promoting On The Call. So I think it was maybe a month or so ago, you, me, and MBK Pop 1997 were talking about tattoos. And when we were talking about tattoos, we were mentioning the fact that a lot of idols have a lot of crazy tattoos, some ugly tattoos, and we happen to be talking about Taeil. Not because Taeil's tattoos are ugly, but because he's just covered in tattoos, which as a boy group member can be a handicap because when you go on music shows and the like, you can't show your tattoos. So for the last couple of comebacks that Block B has had, this guy's out here in turtlenecks and long sleeves in the middle of the summer because he can't show his tattoos on TV. So we're watching The Call because we're watching Taemin's performance with UV, which is very funny.
Yeah.
And the Taeil's in the audience. So we're like, okay, well, he's probably on the show. Let's go ahead and watch another clip. We watch a clip called Duty Free, I think is the name of the song.
It's with BY, Taeil, and Ailey.
Yes. Taeil's on there with a polo shirt that is short sleeved, neck out, hat on, not a tattoo in sight. And we were both like, what?
I'm like, no, I get them removed.
Because I don't know if you Google searched Taeil recently. This man is covered from tip to toe in tattoos.
Like literally everywhere. Like
Up
you have to
his
Google
neck.
it. It's like his chest, his arm, his hands. Literally, like his from the waist up is literally tattooed. I'm surprised he don't have it on his head, but that'll probably be soon.
He's probably gonna shave his head and put a tattoo under his hairline.
Yep.
Like it's coming.
Yep.
But he's got a bat from like here on his neck all the way around
Like
behind
damn
his
it, like
ears.
it passes like the back of his ears.
Yeah, and then he's got like a gorilla smoking a cigarette, I think, on the back of his neck. He's got tattoos on his fingertips, like on his knuckles.
Yeah, like here.
Yeah.
And like he has like a spider thing on his hand or was it on his elbow? Probably the hand. It was on his hand.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of tattoos with
Yeah.
a lot of color, so it's not like it's a lot.
Yeah. But he's on stage. Skin looking clear-ish. You know, nothing on his neck. Looking like it's for real summertime. And I could not figure out what was going on. I thought maybe it was some CG magic. But apparently, they've started using Dermablend in Korea. Because whatever makeup they put on him, it really did the trick.
Yeah.
It really did the trick.
If you didn't know who he was before you went thought, okay, that's just him. But if you know him, you know that he is tatted up. So if someone that didn't know who he was in Block B, they'd be like, okay, this is some singer. No, he's like, so it's like, normally they would just have the little patches, but that's not gonna work.
He would look like a mummy.
Yeah, it was like the little patches and stuff. Because it's literally everywhere. It's just, especially you can't cover up that throat. You can't.
Yeah.
You the only way would be makeup.
Yeah,
That
he
was
can't
the only
sing
way.
if you covered up his
No.
throat. Because you would have to cover up his entire throat. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be just like a patch on the side like Jay Park. It would be all over.
No.
But yeah, like they found a way, and it makes me really happy for him because I think that unfortunately his tattoos have blocked a lot of his blessings when it comes to being able to be a performer. You know, if you can't book him on a show because you can't look at him, it becomes hard to promote new music. And Taeil, him and Park Young really are two of the most talented people in Block B outside of Zico.
Yeah.
And the fact that he hasn't been able to showcase that talent for a long time makes me sad. He's had like one-off singles here and there, but he doesn't get to do a lot of collaborations with a lot of other idols because I think the tattoos get in the way.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get to do a lot of promotion by himself, and he's not booked on a lot of shows. And he's got a cute face. Like when you look at him, he's cute.
The tattoo surprised you because of how he looks.
Yeah, because of the nerd glasses he wears all the time, and then he's always covered up. Like, definitely, I think the tattoos for him have been a hindrance because of the culture he's in. So if this Dermablend thing is what's going to work to get him back out there and get him opportunities, I'm totally for it. Totally for it.
Yeah, I would love to see him on like Immortal song because he has a great I feel like his voice is so slept on. Like no one when they talk about vocals, they never talk about him.
Yeah.
Him and Daehyun from BAP. They don't talk about them. They talk about they talk about the EXO members and stuff like that, which is obviously we know that they can sing duh. But there's other people that can really sing, and he's one of them. Like he's his range is insane. Like I mean, I don't know too many dudes that can hit like damn near whistle notes. It's really high. If you listen to like Block B songs, you know what I'm talking about.
But I mean, Block B suffers from the fact that Zico is so incredibly popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, it is Zico and the Background Boys, Block B.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, because he's just that strong. And it hasn't always been that way. You know, when Block B first came out, the focus was the fact that they had a rap line, like a real serious rap line.
Yeah.
And you listen to songs like No Joke, and everyone is hitting it out of the park, totally doing it. And then at some point or another, I think it started with Tough Cookie, things changed. And it became all about Zico.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're at the stage now where the other members of Block B can't buy attention if they wanted to. And because of the nature of Zico and kind of what he does in Korea, he doesn't always have time to do a Block B comeback. You know, and they've stated before, when they aren't doing a comeback, they don't hang out together. Like they're not big buddies in that group. which, you know, it's refreshing to hear that, but also sad at the same time, because it doesn't give Zico any incentive to try to promote more with them if they really aren't in each other's lives that way.
Yeah, and it's another thing because they basically like, oh well, we're waiting for Zico because we all know that he's the main producer and songwriter of the group. Now, I mean, you know, you can throw Kyung a bone in PL because you know they've written songs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Kyung's
last song is actually really good. He did a song with Sumin. He did a song with Sumin.
I get them confused.
It's hard. It's Sumin, Sudan, Say. There's all these S's, but he did a song with Sumin. It's a really good song, and if you close your eyes and he doesn't go "I," you would think, because that's his thing. That's his thing.
Yeah.
If he didn't do that, you would think it was a Zico produced song.
Yeah. And then the thing about it is like obviously like he's like people wouldn't think he's like the most attractive member in the group, but his songs do pretty well. Like his solo stuff has done pretty well.
Yeah, but it's all digital releases. It's nothing physical, and he's had like I would say probably 4 or 5 digital songs with MVs that have done very well.
Yeah.
But he himself has never had a solo physical project. But at this point in the game, Zico's had 2 physical solo projects. He's had Gallery and he's had Television. So, you ought to have something. You ought to have something.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, being the fact that he's on the call is like a step forward to hopefully we can see him more on other things and stuff like that. Because like I said, he is very talented. And I just wouldn't want that talent to go to waste. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel for like the other members. I mean, because we've seen P.O. He was on the last season of Lipstick Prince, and I think people really liked him on there. Yuquan was on Hit the Stage, and I think he did very well on there.
Yeah, except for the fact that the first episode he did the Joker,
and so did Hoya.
Oh man,
but
what
I
a
think
mess. He did the better Joker of the 2.
He was, because he like embodied the Joker on that episode, like literally, like from not just the appearance, but just if you know anything about Batman,
like the attitude and everything.
Yeah.
But it was a problem, the fact that 2 people did the same thing. So rather than focusing on the fact that he did such a good Joker, it was like you had 2 people that did Joker.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the main conversation was Taemin did Sayonara Hitori in Korean.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And did. That was it. So like I don't know what besides Tail, and I think J Hill may have done like a web drama or something, but he don't really do shit either. So, because I love Block B. I really do.
Blockbuster is still one of the very best K-pop, hip-hop albums ever released.
Yeah. If anyone was to be like, hey, I'm trying to get into Block B, that's the first album I would suggest you. Not the mini albums, not at first. Definitely Blockbuster. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah. I can't even say anything.
Yeah, that's
like,
one of my favorite, my favorite K-pop albums. Block B's Blockbuster, hands down, one of my favorites.
I mean, it is a great listen from start to finish, and you know, without that album, I don't think you could have a BTS. And I'm not saying that to throw them under the bus or anything. That's not at all what it is. What I'm saying is, you have Big Bang kind of opening the door of like, we're an idol group that has a strong rapper, and a semi-strong rapper in GD. But GD kind of is fluid. He can do singing. He can do rapping. He's personality. I think Block B was the first group that's like, we are pulling people from the underground and we are giving you real lyrics, real MC shit.
Right.
And we're putting it in a pop package for you to embrace.
Yeah.
And because of that, you have people saying, oh, okay, I get it. And then they're ready to embrace the BTS. You know, BAP, same way. I honestly think if BAP didn't have their whole issue with TS, if they had been able to keep going, we would be having very different conversations about popularity at this point in the game.
Absolutely.
Because let's not forget, that first year of BAP, people thought it was a fight between EXO and BAP who were going to take the top spot.
Absolutely.
So, you know, these are people that they really laid the foundation for you to have a group where being the rapper is being a star in the group rather than you're the rapper because you can't sing and we needed another visual.
Right. And I think honestly, Black people are supposed to be just rappers.
Mm-hmm.
There was supposed to be no singers. Like if you do your research, it's supposed to be Zico, Kyung, Pio, Minho, and I think Hanhei. He was from Phantom. They was all supposed to be in a group, but things happened. They went to separate ways, and then comes Black people. It was supposed to be just nothing but rappers. Besides like dynamic duo, there is no group that's just like that's okay. K-pop that's just strictly rappers.
Yeah.
None. So that would have been
Yeah, in
completely
K-pop, there's no
different.
strictly rappers.
Yeah, now hip hop, like
There's
K-hip-hop,
Supreme Team, Dynamic Duo, Epic High for a group.
right?
You know, so there's precedent for having an all rap group. You know, and Epic High is probably the closest you come to having an all rap idol group. Really and truly, probably they are the OGs for that.
Yeah.
But you know, Block B really was something that like real hip hop heads listen to Block B music. You know, I think even though Big Bang is super popular, I don't think there's something that when the K hip hop dudes get together, throw on that Big Bang for me real quick, or you know, throw on that BAP for me real quick. But throw on that Block B for me for sure.
Yeah, and then the thing about the rap line, not coming at other rap lines, but like all of them hold their own. Like before BTS came in the picture, all three of them held their rappers.
Yeah, in the early Block B albums, depending on what song you were listening to, sometimes you couldn't even tell who was rapping because they would flow so seamlessly into each other. Mm-hmm. And it's really frustrating that that legacy that they have has not been honored because of the way that they kind of have imploded.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of it I think is in them and not necessarily the public, because they also did something that you don't see a lot of people do. They left their company and survived.
Yeah, that's unheard. Besides JYJ, that's unheard of. Like, and the difference is, Block B's in a small company, so I mean, yeah, you know, JYJ they left SM and went, but even then, that was like a miracle. Mm-hmm. Because anyone else in this company, it's a wrap.
Yeah, you're from a small company, so you're lucky you got on in the beginning. Exactly. You're just lucky you got on.
Yeah.
Then you leave your small company to start another small company
from the ground
up. You.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Yeah.
And you make it.
Yeah.
You make it. And I don't know anybody else who has ever done that successfully, ever. Normally when people leave these small companies, that's it.
Like, I mean, I know, like, you can, I mean, people could say Highlight as well, but see, the thing
is...
They
left
Cube, but see, Highlight, they run their own company. No one started one for them. So that's another thing. Mm-hmm. Because they came together and was like, we're going to make a company. So that's another thing to definitely look at.
But they still fall under an umbrella of somebody else, right?
Do they? I'm not sure.
I feel like they do.
Not sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got some questions.
Yes.
Okay, so it says, what do you think about Baro and Jin Young leaving B1A4?
I'll leave that to you because, you know, I don't have any real opinions about B1A4. They were never a group I listened to or collected.
Like, I like B1A4, like, but I wasn't like a stan, but I can kind of understand why they would leave because, again, oh no, I'm sorry, wrong comment. I'm about to say Platis, never mind. WM, yeah. They haven't really been active as much in the past couple years. Like, say, like, in the beginning, they were very active when they debuted. But the past couple years, it was very, like, you'll see them once, like, you'll see them do other things. Like, you'll see Baro do acting. I think Sando had a solo. Jin Young was more known as a songwriter for, like, you know, Produce 101, Season 1 and stuff like that. So that was in, like, writing for Oh My Girl and stuff like that. So that was, they were kind of, like, doing other things and stuff like that. So I can kind of see why Jin Young left because, you know, it's like, hey, you know, I can kind of do my own thing. I'm not too sure about Baro, but like I said, he can always fall back on acting because, I mean, I think he was on Replay 1997 or 90. I know one of those replays. I know he did like really well on there. If I'm not mistaken, So it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see the other three members, especially the fact that if you know B1A4 Gongchen Namakne, he doesn't get a lot of shine, but that's because he said himself he's not really confident in himself to like have lines. People like, why you don't get lines? Why you don't get lines? But I think he said himself, he's like, yeah, I'm just not that confident to get like the spotlight, which it's kind of sad when you think about it. Like, you've been in this group for how many years?
At this point in the game, you can't be shy anymore.
Yeah, like, you really can't be having that mentality. You've been in this group since 2011. Because they debuted the same year as Block B. So, it's kind of unfortunate to have that mentality. So, it's definitely going to be interesting. Now it's going to be three. I mean, yeah, you still have your your main vocalist, because Sandro. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
For the future of B1A4. But again, with all these groups that have been out for like 5+ years, I'm not surprised. Especially when you're in companies like they're not active like that anymore and things like that, and and they focus on other people. Like, that's why I really, really, really hope that Pledis does not fuck this up in Newbies, because they will never get a chance like this again. Ever. So I really hope that this works out, and then it continues on when Minghyun comes back into the group when 101 is over.
Yeah.
I really do hope. I really want this to work, because just actually watching them on Produce 101, that shit was heartbreaking. Just seeing them like audition, and audition was kind of and then seeing like them go from like D's to F's. Like, these are people that was in the game for 5 years. So they have an advantage over everybody that's on the show, and they were just doing awful. But as time goes on, we know certain members shine and stuff like that. And then I think Newbies is the only group that, like, because there's other people that came in from other groups. Newbies is the only group that had all their members make it to the finals. They didn't make it to the group, but they made it to the finals. So that's another thing. So they were able to kind of like, get together and stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, didn't P.O.'s dad help? I think he helped with the whole thing with, I think he may have, because I know like P.O. comes from like a rich family. I think P.O.'s dad or his family owns duty-free shops in Korea. So that's money.
Mm-hmm.
Or either like,
which makes it even funnier that Taylor did a song called Duty Free.
I think his
Winner chicken dinner. That's so great! It's so great! Okay, if you haven't already, look on YouTube for The Call. Look for a song called Duty Free from the show The Call. The very last lyrics of the song. Winner, chicken dinner.
That's an actual legit lyric, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not making this shit up.
No, not making it up.
Nope.
A. Lee sings Winner, chicken dinner!
There's so much soul. It's hysterical. Like, it's hilarious. But that show's actually really, like, what we seen was pretty good. Like, the clip I saw when Taemin had covered Hoodies Like You, I was like, okay. Because never in a million years would I see BY and Taemin on a song together. Like, never. So, and it worked.
Gummy sing together on a song for there. Like, I'm telling you, it's slept on by international fans. You've got to see it. It's a great show. It makes you want to download the songs. Like, it's really, really good.
They need to have that shit on streaming, because I would totally stream them songs. Absolutely.
Do you have any other questions for Missy?
Let's see. It says Shinhwa did the same thing too when they left. Oh, right, they did make their own company, didn't they?
Yes.
Shinhwa, yeah.
I think that the issue they had was they left SM, they did their own company, and then something happened with the company they left to, and they lost their name for several years.
Something like that.
I want to say Shinhwa just got their name back, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Because if you look at their albums always have the symbol, but they never say the word Shinhwa on them. Yeah.
They pull the Prince? The unpronounceable symbol? Okay.
Yeah, kind of. Like, you know what it is when you see it, girl.
You know what's up.
You know what's up. Yeah. So, that is one that they left. But again, they left a big company and went on. Like, I just don't feel like Block B at the time that they left their first company had nearly the fan base that a Beast or a Shinhwa or a JYJ had.
They had only released 2 mini albums. I'm sorry, they only released a single album, a mini album, and a full-length album. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, they were popular, but they was kind of like BAP popular. Like, they weren't like EXO level, but they were popular. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, same with like BAP. Like, people like BAP, but they weren't like at that like high level. If that makes any sense. So
yeah.
So definitely not enough popularity where like, okay, we can go to another group and we good. Nah.
Yeah.
Not when the whole thing with Stardom happened, and we all know what happened with Stardom after that.
Mm-hmm.
Or Top Dog. Or it's not even Top Dog anymore, some other name I keep forgetting.
Man, you talk about depressing. That should make you sad.
That's sad. Yeah.
You know, because it was like the sexual abuse allegations.
For real?
I thought it was. Wasn't it Stardom that had the sexual abuse allegations?
I know they wasn't paying people.
I can't see.
Oh, it says buying 50 copies of one album. Yeah, Top Dog was yes, because here's the thing that irritated me with their president of Stardom. When the whole lawsuit with Block B happened, he was talking about, oh, I couldn't manage 7 people, but you debut a 13-member group, and you was about to debut a Chinese subunit.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget that, like, really, I don't even think it was that he couldn't manage them. I think it's the fact that he wasn't paying them.
True.
Because they were what was making it possible for you to have trainees.
Yeah.
So let's not act like it is what it is. When you know, it was about that money.
Yeah, because the only people that were successful was Black people.
Yeah, because you have a group that writes their own material. How much managing do you have to do? All you got to do is make sure they show up at their schedules in clean clothes.
Pretty much. I mean, Evil, that never popped off. Top Dog, when they were around, I mean, I think they fizzled a little bit with Annie, but then just fizzled after that because people laughed and other
And they
people
kept repackaging too much, too.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
Yeah. I think they repackaged like every mini album they had, I think.
Yeah, they were pulling a hot shot.
Yeah.
I will never understand that. Oh my gosh, you know.
Oh yeah, they didn't
Hot
add a new
Shot
song.
repackaged 3 times the same song. It's like, I'm sorry, you're not a Big Bang. And even Big Bang, I did not like that shit. But it was like their first song, then they had a second song that came out, and that first song was on there. Then they had a third song come out, and they had that second and first song on there. It was like, you are not allowed to repackage the same song 3 times. That is against K-pop rules. No, sir. No, sir.
No.
But yeah, there's been some moments in K-pop for sure. But I could have sworn there was like some sexual abuse thing with Stardom.
Who knows? I mean,
now I gotta ask my good friend Google.
Oh, it was okay. It was the CEO of Open World Entertainment that had 2 groups under them, the Boston X5. Maybe
Stardom Entertainment CEO found dead.
Huh?
Yeah, that was back in 2013. The former CEO committed suicide during their lawsuit with Block B.
Who was this? Wait, was it the? What was the dude's name? What was his name?
Mr. Lee.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's the same. That's not the same person I'm thinking about. I was gonna say what? Because I know it's like something PD, and listen, I'm gonna
Yeah. Well, this was back in 2013.
Okay.
Fucking website. In the midst of the controversy between Block B and their agency Stardom Entertainment, it has been reported that the agency's former CEO, Mr. Lee, had been found dead in his home's basement on the 20th after what appeared to be a suicide. Mr. Lee had been under much attention after Block B filed their lawsuit against the agency, citing that they have not been paid for a year and that Lee had even received money from the members' parents. The agency responded through their official statement that Lee indeed received money from the parents and had run off with it afterwards, and stated that they were planning to take legal action against him as well.
Ouch.
Yeah, so it was money. It was money. It wasn't about I can't manage you. It was money.
Ouch.
Flat out.
Damn. Well, that's really unfortunate. That's messy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, K-pop's been through a lot, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you think about it, like, it's a lot.
Same thing with like TS and Secret and all that. Oh Lord. Poor Secret. I think it's really unfortunate with the whole Secret situation because Secret was the group that kind of made TS. Because Dance Show wasn't Untouchables because they asked us only promote every like 5 years. Like I can't remember the last time they did something together.
3 years ago?
It was like a minute. It was a minute
I think it was
ago.
3 years ago because I remember Top Min Kwan saying like, "Oh my gosh, I've been following Untouchables forever, and they just came out with a new album."
Okay.
So I think it was about 3 years, 2 or 3 years, 3 years ago.
Still long. I know Sleepy. He's more active on like variety shows now. But yeah, like so pretty much Secret was the group that kind of built up TS, and then it was BAP that just kind of like went even further because of like how active they were. Like they were popular. I mean, yeah, like they were popular. I think at some point, I think they were becoming more popular than fucking Secret.
2015.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So then at some point, I think BAP was becoming more popular than, you know, Secret because Secret wasn't getting world tours. Secret wasn't getting like multiple albums. I don't even think they did in Japan. I don't think they did. Secret? I don't think they did. But yeah, it's just messed up how like for, you know, you have a group like Secret who was, you know, very liked and stuff.
It wasn't Stardom. It was Zia's company. I think that the sexual abuse charges were about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
whatchamacallit, and you know what I'm saying, Secret, very active group, you know, so you have Hyosung being very active on variety shows, and you know, Jian.
Secret was Mamamoo before Mamamoo.
Pretty much, yeah, definitely. And then Jian, like, you know, she had like a pretty decent solo career and stuff like that. BAP obviously from the gate came out swinging. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about them and EXO. Okay, more so the babies and EXO Welsh's bumping heads the whole year, which led to the legendary Busker. If you don't know what that is, this is like I said. This is I'm not sure if some of you guys know, but let me just take y'all back to 2012. So, like we said, 2012, between all the rookies, that's including Biggs and AOA and C-Cloud, all them other groups that was out 2012, BAP and EXO were the top rookies of that year.
Yeah.
And they were battling out the whole year. Now, you already know how the mamas roll. We're wondering who's going to win Best New Artist. And EXO and BAP was nominated. The fans were fighting so much that both groups lost. And you know who won? Busker. Now you know who the hell is Busker. Cherry Blossom something.
Cherry Blossom Love or Cherry Blossom Spring.
That song was huge.
Whoa.
2012.
You know, and it just goes to show international fans do not have their pulse on the culture because nobody internationally was talking about Busker.
No.
The only people that had been talking about Busker were Simon and Martina because they were friends with the one guy from Busker, the white guy. And I don't say that to be racist. I mean, like, literally, the white guy. But yeah, like, no one else was talking about Busker
They came out of nowhere. Like, literally, that song was really big.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If you go back and do your research, that song was fucking huge.
That song is still a really popular song.
When the Cherry Blossoms come in, that song.
Yeah, it's that song and that song from High 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, songs by groups that aren't even together anymore. I think Busker broke up. I know High 4 is not together no more, I don't think.
I know
think
they
unofficially disbanded.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like...
anything with Cherry Blossoms.
Something about that fucking tree. It just breeds a hit if you time it just right.
Right.
But yeah, I remember that, and I remember the disappointment on people's faces. Like,
people
this shit
were
is
like,
rigged.
people were pissed. It's like, who the fuck is Busker? I'm like, this is what happens when you don't vote. Y'all spent all that time beefing. Y'all didn't vote enough. And Busker just slid their ass right on in for the rest.
It's not voting. I think it's the fact that, like, the Korean people who voted for Busker. And it was, like, a foregone conclusion for them. It was like, these little new groups are nice, but this is what we're listening to. And you have to recall, too, this is back before, like, the YouTube views thing was such a big deal.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
People really didn't talk about YouTube views back in the day like that.
No.
I don't think it's been. I think it's only been the last 3 years that I think that the views has been a big thing to talk about. But it used to be, instead of like views, it was sales. Sales was the big deal. How many albums are you selling?
Mm-hmm.
Or how many awards are you winning?
Yeah.
And EXO was a new group, and they weren't winning awards the way that they do now.
No.
Like now, if EXO has a comeback, you don't expect them to get anything less than maybe 10 awards.
Right, because they didn't win their first music show until Wolf.
Yeah.
And that was a year later.
So that's the reason why, like, for us international fans, because these are companies that we like and we were waiting for these debuts, of course, these are super popular to us. This is what's happening, this is what's up, we're ready for it. In Korea, not the same thing. It's about what are they playing at the coffee shop? What am I listening to that's on the radio? And in Korea, it's this special kind of like chill, almost jazz music, almost folk music blend.
Yeah.
That shit sells. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why Hayes has been on like she has been, because that's what she makes. She makes that kind of melancholy, almost jazz music.
Yeah, same thing with B2B. Nobody was checking for B2B. All them years, no one was checking for them. But then they switched it up and started doing more ballads. They blew the fuck up. In my opinion, I like more of their earlier music, but that's just me. But I know a lot of people do like more, they're like more melodic, more ballad type music. But they blew up. Because at first I was like, I don't know how much longer Q's going to have them here before they just like, all right, we're just going to disband. Because it was years. Like, it was, I think B2B was like the longest group to go from winning a music show, because they didn't win their first music show until like Come Back Home. I think that was the song that like blew them up. Either that or Remember That. It's one of those songs, because I know they came right after each other, but this was years ago.
Yeah,
years ago. So it took them a long. I think first it was Black Bee, because they didn't win their first music show until Very Good. That was 2013. B2B, that was 2015. Yeah, 2015 when they got their first music show. So we're just like...
And that used to be the thing. Like, nowadays, with music show wins, it's almost a given that certain popular groups are going to win at least one show. But, like, the reason why you can look back at SHINee's first music show win and EXO's first music show win, and you see all these people crying, is because back in the day, a music show win was like, Mama, I made it. You know, that's what it was.
Exactly.
And you didn't have people like Nilo almost winning music shows. That wasn't what it was. Like, you really had to be performing, like, in the charts, in the streets, in the record stores, for you to win a music show.
I'm still confused about that. Absolutely. I don't know.
Apparently, he had a concert he had scheduled so that everybody could see this brilliant performer that's just been eating up the music charts, and they canceled the concert because he wasn't selling no tickets.
Because no one likes him. Like,
it was so bad that people were reserving tickets at his show so that they could spell out patterns in the seating chart that were like, fuck you, Nyla. It was bad.
I mean, for weeks, for like a good month, every time he was nominated, I would watch Ikigayo. Silence.
And it was never at the show.
Woo! BTS, woo! Nyla, cricket. It was dead silent. I'm like, oh, you don't like this guy. People do not like this guy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, I'm still confused. I'm like, how? I don't get it.
How, Sway?
How? So it's gonna be interesting when the end of the year things come around. So it's like, is he gonna be nominated? Is he gonna win shit? I have no idea.
Well, I mean, they're accusing him of, is it called Salgi?
Yeah, something like that. Like something about like something his company done finagled some shit or something.
Because they said that it's happened with his company before, where like somebody out of nowhere all of a sudden was considered popular, but nobody knew him.
Okay, it says the CEO of Open World Entertainment. Oh, okay, so it's another thing. Okay, so I think it was what you were talking about earlier. The CEO of Open World Entertainment was arrested back in 2012 for sexual abusing trainees and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. I
Okay.
remember that case because I remember it was really weird because it wasn't just girls. It was like girls and
It
boys.
was all okay. I think I remember hearing about
Yeah,
that.
it was nuts.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, everybody was getting raped. It was crazy.
That was really like.
But I mean, that kind of stuff happens a lot. There's some CEO that got in trouble. Well, he didn't actually get in trouble. That was the weird part. He had some girl who was a trainee, who was like 15 years old.
The one he moved in with him?
Yeah, had been living with him and everything. And the court was like, well, you know, she agreed. Her parents didn't fight.
Yeah. It was a female trainee. She was like 14. He convinced the parents to let her live with him so they can get more in-depth training. Ends up she ended up getting knocked up, but he don't get arrested because
they considered it consent.
It was consensual.
Yeah, and I mean, as the parent of a 13-year-old, I can tell you now, if a grown man even wanted to spend 30 minutes unaccompanied with my child, I would be in jail because I would have assaulted him. Like, I'd have been like, you need to either leave right now or you need to be prepared to fight for your life.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that confused me about that whole story is the fact that the parents actually, I feel like they were definitely naive, for one. But two, it's just like something didn't like, because I've never heard of any other CEO having trainees live with them. That's now, if it's like in a building by the company, okay, that's normal protocol, but never in the same house. Never. Mm-hmm. So something should just been like, something in the milk ain't clean, because something's wrong, something's up. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, he's like, he knocked her up, and of course she didn't debut, of course she didn't, because he just, like I said, he just kind of finessed, that's talking about finesse. He finessed the hell out of them parents with their child, and I'm trying to understand the parents' point of view, but I still don't get it.
I don't either.
No, because it's like they and okay, I'm trying to see like on their side of, oh, you know, my child's gonna debut, she's gonna make money, she's gonna be famous, be good.
Listen, if your child is talented enough that the CEO of a company says, I want her to live with me so I can take her under my wing myself, I'm like, that's a really great offer. It sounds like our daughter has a lot of potential, so we'll be marketing her to another company. Thank you very much. Like, for real. Yeah. It'd be like, oh, well, if she's got that much talent, we need to be headed over to SMYG, whatever else.
Right. So did they get money from him? Did he pay them?
I don't know. I'm sure at some point some money was exchanged.
He probably paid them at some point.
You know, let's be real. I am a parent, and I can tell you, the world changes the moment you have a child. Like, I know on the lead up to having a child, to the days after having a child, the world immediately became a more dangerous place to me. Like, all the news stories about children being abused, parents beating them up, whatever else.
Right.
Every time I read a story like that, I take it to heart because I'm like, how could somebody do that to their child?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I'm also hyper aware of all the pitfalls out there, so I'm super paranoid about out there. And so, even if you're naive, at the end of the day, I feel like all of us parents have one thing in common. We realize that there's no safer place, unless you have a monster living with you, there's no safer place than home.
Yeah.
So why would you put your child out of your home to live with a stranger in the pursuit of fame? Especially when this fame is so much of like a fucking lottery win.
Yeah.
The chances of your child not being on SMYG or JYP, debuting and making millions, it's unheard of.
Yeah.
It's unheard of.
Yeah.
So I just don't see a parent who has good intentions for their child falling for some shit like this. This is a matter of some parents hoeing out their child.
Pretty much.
You know?
Yeah, no level-headed parent would even agree to this shit. I don't give a fuck where you are.
Never.
No.
Not at all.
I don't know you. You want my child to live with you? Fuck out of here, no. Mm-mm. That would never happen. I don't care where you are. Like I said, any parent that has some sense would just be like, you know what? Thank you for the offer. We're gonna go with someone else.
Absolutely.
No, that's crazy, and it's just sad because it's the fact that, you know, he got away with it.
Yeah, and now your child's virtually ruined. Virtually ruined because I don't know if she had the baby or not.
Yeah, they didn't really like go deep into that.
Yeah, like the story got dropped after a while. But
Yeah.
like, if she had the baby, she has to deal with the stigma of being a single parent in Korea, which that shit's not cool. I mean, you know, we're kind of over it in the United States for the most part.
Yeah, but it's really like frowned upon in Korea. Absolutely.
Yeah. And being a teenage mom on top of that, even more frowned upon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everything is going to tell the rest of society that this woman is tainted. Mm-hmm. It's not fair, and it's not right, and it's not what I personally believe. But in that society, every indicator for a stranger is that this woman is no good, and she doesn't deserve good things.
Right.
She doesn't deserve good opportunity. She doesn't deserve great jobs. She doesn't deserve great relationships because of the mistakes she made. And it's going to be labeled as her mistakes. Even if she explains, a grown-ass man took advantage of me and my parents were complicit in letting him take advantage of me, that backstory is not going to count. What's going to count is you are a teenager with a toddler.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think one thing that people don't really talk about is that this isn't new. People do this all the time. I mean, maybe not to this exact story, but there are people, CEOs out here that claim to have entertainment companies, and they convince these people's parents that we're gonna make them stars, we're gonna be rich, famous, we're gonna make all this money, and they're just pretty much used as sex. And men too. Don't get it twisted.
Oh yeah,
men
because that other
caught up
company
in there
was
too.
boys.
Yeah. So it's not just women, it's men too. So,
like, we all remember Gina.
oh, poor Gina.
Here she is signed Cube, like a real company, and her career is dead. You can't even talk about her in certain circles, and it's because somebody at that label's like, hey, I notice you don't have a comeback schedule. I'm sure you need a little cash. I know a guy who wants to get to know you. How about you be friendly? Career ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Because she did the thing that people do when they're desperate for money and they're not really getting any work. And at this point, you don't feel like you can go back to regular life because you've been living your dream, and that addiction for the way that feels is still there. So she feels like and then you're dating another very prominent gentleman, and that relationship is full of gifts and taking care of you and giving you money, and then all of a sudden you are
but over there, nah. Like her, like when that story came out, her career was a wrap. It was done. It was done. So like last time I checked, maybe like a year or so ago, or 2 years ago, she came out saying, you know, she came on Instagram, and because she literally went ghost. She's not on Instagram, none of that. She's like literally went ghost. And you know, people are said out here, there's people that do that out here. You know what I'm saying? You get with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if he, you know, this dude can pay my rent for a couple months, buy me some bags, take me on some trips and all that.
It's a whole culture.
Yeah.
You know, you can't listen to current hip hop and not hear from female MCs talking about, you know, buy me bags, buy me shoes, pay my rent, fly me out. You know, my pussy's worth gold. You need to be giving me the gold in order to have access to it. Like, that is a thing, you know, and it's not just in hip hop. Instagram models.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's been plenty of them caught up on like these like pranks or stings where they've said, you know, I'll suck off your 13-year-old brother if you just fly me out to Dubai and let me vacation for a couple of months. Like, that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just saying, probably when it came to Gina, the culture, unfortunately, didn't allow people to look favorably on that, but it's not something that people wouldn't do, and in the position she was in, I could see why she thought that was an alternative.
She's like, hey, listen, I gotta eat. These bills gotta get paid.
Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't judge her for that, because it's like, as long as, like I said before, as long as you if you're comfortable and no one's forcing you to do this, go ahead. Make your money.
And I don't think anybody forced her to do
No.
this. But I do think, in a way, she was kind of bamboozled into thinking, I'm introducing you to a friend. Oh, that didn't work out? Let me introduce you to another friend. And not realizing maybe until the second guy, oh, this was a setup.
This is what it is. Like, this is, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, maybe the relationship went on for a month and then it was over. And she's like, well, you know, it's a short relationship, no big deal. But then when you're introduced to the second friend, and the second friend is kind of operating in the same way the first friend did, you're like, oh, I get what it is. I guess I'm caught up in this now.
I think we had a comment that said, yeah, like back to young, for example. That situation was still messed up.
Fucked up because
It was.
She really did, like, that was a violation of her privacy completely.
Absolutely.
Because she wasn't fucking no stranger for money. She was with her manager. And probably this was one of those things where he's like, she'll never leave me. Whether we're together or not, she'll never leave me because I've got something on you.
She's like holding it over her head.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, you know, it wasn't a thing where, like, I'm doing this to you for money. It's probably one of those things like, you're my manager, we're really close, I like you, you know, we're having some kind of a relationship. Let's do what people in relationships do. Because if you look at the video, because I've watched the video, because they're all grown up, so it wasn't, you know, child pornography or anything. No. I watched the video. At no point in the video does she seem at all aware that there's a camera in the room. Never.
Yeah. It's one thing if they was like, hey, let's do this, whoop-de-whoop, and she was in on it. Even still, they're two consenting adults. And at this point in time, sex tapes was like, everyone's done one. It's not, back in the day, it was like, it could ruin your career. But now it's
and
like.
it almost did for her.
Yeah.
It took her years to recover.
It really did. Like, I mean, like, I'm talking about like back, like here in the States, like.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, that could have ruined your career back then. But now, who doesn't have one? Who doesn't have nudes floating around the internet? You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother ball game now. But for her, that almost ruined her career. And it's like I said, it's fucked up because she didn't know. It's not like,
oh yeah,
you know, they was like, you know what, we're going to just do this for one time for the one time. And it got out. No, she literally had no knowledge. And what pissed me off is that they blamed her. Like, she had no knowledge of what was going on. And then it's like he was just like shopping it around. I'm like, and that's your man. You would think if anyone you can trust is your manager.
Yeah.
And that's even more fucked up because she was not only was she in a relationship with him, but he had, you know, ties with her career and just complete like I said, I'm surprised she was able to jump back from that because that, like in Korea, that would ruin your career. Same thing with Ailey. I think the difference with Ailey was like the situation, but it's still kind of fun. In time. I think it's like, I mean, it's somewhat in a way because you know the story. She was kind of.
She thought she was modeling,
and she got misled and was put on the internet for porn or whatever the hell.
But there's two major things that are different with Ailey. Mm-hmm. One, she wasn't on film having sex. No. She was literally posing. Number two, she filed a police report immediately.
Yeah.
And I think because years later it came out, the fact that you could go back and look and see that at the time,
it's public record.
Yeah, that it's public record. That made all the difference with the public because had she not reported it at that time, she would have had nothing to support the fact that she was taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's a certain amount of nudity that people expect when it comes to modeling. And so for her to pose semi-nude, it's like, okay, well, I can see where maybe she thought this was a modeling thing. She is a pretty girl. This could really be the case. And when she caught it, she tried to do the steps to make things right. This, on the other hand, was a grown woman having full-on sex. And then, not knowing that she had been filmed, she didn't know to go to the police and say, hey, my manager has filmed me doing this thing. So...
yeah, I mean, both situations was unfortunate, especially the fact that it was for people that they trusted.
Oh, yeah.
Back to Young trusted the manager, Ailey trusted her boyfriend, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck all K-pop for life. Fuck all K-pop for life.
Listen, like, I remember when it happened, and it blew up. It was like, oh my God, she posted nudes, her career is over. But then when we got more about the story, people was like, oh.
Yeah.
they went from hating her to feeling bad for her. Because after seeing what happened, the fact that dude was shopping the photos, like
it was fuck K-pop, fuck all K-pop. All
yeah,
day.
like I remember because that podcast you told me about, they did a story on it. They was talking about paparazzi in Korea, and they talked about the whole Junghyun situation, and being that was kind of like the beginning of like how the paparazzi is in Korea.
Yeah, and this was long before December.
Oh yeah, this was like years ago.
Yeah,
but. They talked about it, how like there wasn't a thing in Korea back then until 2011. The paparazzi only focused on politics and sports until the whole thing with Junghyun happened. That wasn't a thing. And then going back with Ailey, like the fact that dude was going to dispatch like y'all got these news, and then the fact that they didn't take them. Had that been here, TMZ would have been on them shits ASAP.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like that's how it just made me think like in Korea they like okay they do messy shit, but I think they may have some type of morals like all right because like that could have brought him so much attention to his site, the guy that runs Dispatch, but he's like no I'm not taking these photos and then I remember the podcast I was listening to and they talked to him and he explained the situation. He was like yeah he contacted me. And he said, I got these photos of Ailey, they're new, blah, blah, blah. And then he's asked, well, how do you know? He's like, I was her ex-boyfriend. And he was like, I can't take these. Like I said, had it been The Shade Room, TMZ, Baller Alert, World Star, them shits would have been on the internet in like an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then it's just crazy how like months later she wins an award at the Mellon Awards, and they give her standing ovation.
That was a nice moment.
Yeah, like because like again that could have ruined her career. And it's like, and this was like when she was like getting more popular. Like I mean, she blew up with Heaven, but this is when she was getting more popular at this time.
This was the Don't Touch Me. No.
And it was 2013.
You'll see.
It's like. You and I. This might have been You and I era, maybe. Could have been. I don't know.
What was the video with Geo?
I'll show you. No, that was like when she came. That's when she like debuted.
No, Heaven was when she debuted.
Yeah, but like after that was I'll Show You.
Oh.
That was like not too long after that.
I don't know.
But yeah, I think that was when she blew up with You and I. Like, and then I remember just watching the mill. And that was the same year Shiny won their Artist of the Year award.
That was a great show.
Yeah, so like everyone stood up for her and applauded for her. Oh yeah, that was that was good.
Oh chills. Oh look, we have another comment.
Oh yeah. It says, and the Mamas was happening around that time. Oh, okay. It said, oh yeah, oh that's right. It was the Mellon Awards. Yeah. So like I remember they stood up for her. Everybody.
Everybody, because they realized like she was done dirty by somebody she trusted. And I'm not trying to be distracted, but Emily just told me that she is going to get my DVD for me, so I'm excited.
What DVD?
I asked her if she could buy Shiny's The Best From Now On DVD while she's in Japan.
Lucky.
Not lucky. I wanted her to buy it because I want it.
I'm just saying you can get it. I can't get it.
Well, sorry about that. But, I grow gray hairs for this. My job is fucking stressful.
But that's great that you got the DVD though.
I'm excited. I can't wait to give her money. Because I'm not getting it for free.
No.
Yeah.
She ain't that nice.
I guess we should get ready to wrap up because we've been talking for what?
Over 2 hours.
Yeah, so we should get ready to wrap up.
But yeah.
I'm trying to think, what's one last thing we could talk about before we wrap up? I don't know. I mentioned it on the last one we did about Shiny not promoting, but they did actually end up doing some performances of our page and tonight, which was really nice.
Okay.
The third episode has come out because it had come out the last time that we talked, I don't believe.
No.
And I hadn't had a chance to hear Lock You Down by Jonghyun. I have since had, well, I say by Jonghyun, but featuring Jonghyun is what I meant to say. I have now had a chance to hear it, and I have to say, it is just one more balm over the wound. Like, I'm so glad to hear his voice, even though his voice wasn't the most prominent voice on the song.
Right, but you can definitely
You
spot
definitely
it.
can hear him.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there were points in episodes 1 and 2 when I was like, is that John Yen?
And it'll be like, oh no. It'll be like,
yeah. You know, where it sounded like him. But this definitely, once you heard this, you're like, okay, obviously that's not him because this is strictly him. These are his vocal tics. And it was just nice to have that moment again because I really thought we were done hearing OT5 vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a lovely moment. I don't know if Shiny will continue to do things like this, but I'm just really proud of them. I'm just really proud of them for everything. I'm proud of Jongin for everything he did while he was with us. I'm proud of OT4 for sticking it out and being willing to share one of the most painful things that could ever happen to a human being with the rest of us. And I hope that they continue to record as long as they're willing to put out material. I'm willing to buy it, as you just heard. But I'm just very grateful to have these moments with them because I didn't know if we were ever going to get anything ever again.
No, same.
And so to get something 6 months later, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Because it didn't have to happen at all.
Oh, no.
You could have just been like, you know what? We can't do this. We're done. And I would have been upset. I would have been sad, obviously. But I would have understood.
Yeah.
As any, simple person would. They'd think, okay, yeah, it sucks, but I understand.
Yeah.
Because it's tough. But I honestly didn't expect anything to come out this soon. But I am grateful. And I'm grateful for the response that it's been getting. And yeah, I mean, I'll always love Shiny, like, regardless. Whether they do solo things, they do things as a group, whatever happens, I'm going to be along for the ride.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just... My channel's Shawol360. I'm never going to change that. Everything I do on social media is Shawol360 or Shawol_360. Now on Instagram. And
Plug.
Yeah, on Instagram and Twitter. But it'll just always be a part of my DNA at this point. Just because it brought so many other things. Being a Shawol brought along all of the K-pop adventures. It started with the Wonder Girls, but Shiny really is what made it take hold. And my friend group, what I listen to, what I'm interested in, a lot of things come from that right there. And so I'm never going to abandon it. It's always going to be precious to me. And so I would have taken anything they would have given me, even if they said we're giving you the end. But the fact that they decided to continue, it's a bravery that you don't see every day.
No.
And so I'm immensely proud of them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very grateful for what they've given us. And I'm still greedy, of course. I still want the Jongin concert DVDs.
So come on, make it happen, man.
And I'm sure there's like at least 50 demos of songs that we've never gotten because Jongin himself would be on Instagram showing us the demos. So I would love for those songs, even if we can't get Jongin's voice out there because his family doesn't agree, perhaps they would agree to allow other groups to record these songs, maybe allow Shiny to record these songs. But overall, I'm just very, very blessed that I got a chance to know Shiny and to know Shiny while Jongin was still here on Earth.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's kind of how it ended the last time we talked to everybody. So I feel like I brought it home. Brought it home. Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is dark chats we're having. This sexual abuse, death.
People not getting paid and shit.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I feel like people need to have these conversations because people don't.
Yeah. Okay. This is a conversation in and of itself. I think the reason why there's so much bullshit with new fans, like fans in the last 2 years, is because they haven't had their heart broken yet. Really and truly. Once you've been following K-pop long enough, you'll get that first initial heartbreak, and then all of a sudden you see the dark side of K-pop, and you see how things aren't what you thought they were.
Yeah.
And it really is just a business. And it really is with the same pitfalls and bad people and bad management that you have in any other entertainment field or business. And I think that is a main problem with new fans, is that a lot of them haven't had to endure this heartbreak.
No.
Once you've had a chance to experience it, taste it, make it your own, everything changes. You know, it's ridiculous at this point for somebody who's been in K-pop as long as we have, for us to engage in fan wars. And the reason why it's ridiculous is because we've seen how these fan wars turn out for the most part. No one wins.
No.
No one ever wins.
No, not at all.
You know, and just when you think it can never get any hotter and this is it, this is the battle royale, all of a sudden 2 years later, it's a whole new battle royale. You know, we just got through talking about it was the EXO BAP Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Now it happens to be the EXO BTS Battle Royale. And tomorrow it'll be somebody else. We don't know who.
Right, it can be anybody.
It can be anybody. But
Yeah.
that's the way it's been.
Yeah.
And mixed in between that are stories of sexual abuse, people getting underpaid, terrible safety conditions, people getting killed in car accidents, people committing suicide, you know, people losing their dreams. And Jonghyun's suicide isn't the first suicide in K-pop.
No.
You know, what's the name of the group? SG
Wannabe?
SG Wannabe. They had their singer kill himself. You know, so it's not new. But like I said, you have to go through that initial heartbreak and then you start to see this for what it really is. And that's when you can't focus on petty shit like, oh, we didn't get enough votes or we didn't win that award. You start to be thinking like, just don't let nothing happen to these guys. Just don't let nothing happen to them.
Yeah.
Please. Please, Lord, let them still be on this earth.
Yeah. I mean, of course we don't wish none of this to happen, obviously, because we're not evil people. But, I mean, you're right, because we've been through all of that. I've been in K-pop for 6 years. You've been in K-pop for like 7?
Mm-hmm.
Like 7 years. So we've been in K-pop for almost 10 years. And we've seen it. We've seen it, been through, got the goddamn t-shirt. These new fans, they've never experienced, you know, going years without comebacks. People, you know, people leaving groups. You know what I'm saying? Issues with the companies. Or just all that. They've never experienced that. And when you see that, you realize all that beef shit was totally not worth it. Because it really isn't. And not only because we're older and it's like, we got other shit to worry about than to be on Twitter. Oh, fuck yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's really not worth it. Because at the end of the day, they don't know you. They don't know me. They're not paying us to go back and forth with each other. It's just, there's no good end to any of it. It's just unnecessary stress. And I already have gray hair. And I don't need any gray hair because I'm beefing with some fucking 12-year-old over some...
I'm not going to fight with no 14-year-old over a group of millionaires. Hell no.
No.
I don't have time for that bullshit. You know, it can be annoying sometimes because sometimes that shit invades your safe space.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I just hate when these little kids get in... You know, that happens. But for the most part... I don't take no side in these wars between these fan groups because I'm still buying both groups' albums.
Yeah,
you know, I'm still enjoying the music. You know, so all this.
Hi, Jess.
Hey, you have caught the tail.
You're late to the party, girl.
Woo! You got hours of stuff to watch going back. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's so much worse stuff that can happen to your idol.
Yeah.
That my idol didn't win an award this week, or my idol's fandom didn't come in first, or, you know, I'm tired of people talking shit about their hair color or their clothes or whatever else. Try burying one of your idols.
Facts.
You know, I'll never forget, and this is the reason why fan wars to me are trash and I don't ever take fans seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? It's somewhere over here. Maybe not. Maybe I got rid of it already. But the year is 2014. I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
EXO has a comeback scheduled. It's going to be a big comeback because Growl was a huge hit.
Oh, I know we're heading.
all of a sudden, there's a small news article on CNN, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. A ferry has sunk, and almost an entire class of children is lost at sea. And the next day, all of the entertainment shows, every comeback that was scheduled, anything having to do with anything happy,
shut down,
put on hiatus.
Yep. Dramas, sporting events, music shows, anything was nothing but coverage of the Shawol tragedy.
Because a country has lost a generation of children. That town lost a generation of children. And in Korean families, where most families have 1 or 2 children, some families lost their future in a matter of moments. Fans, I'm not going to call them by their fandom name because that's not fair to that fandom. Fans of certain people, fuck the coverage, where's my comeback? Ever since that day, I have never been able to take fan shit seriously. Because if you don't have the decency it takes to realize that a nation is in mourning because of one of the biggest losses of life ever in that country, in one instance, you don't qualify to tell me I need to vote more, or I need to do this as a fan, or I need to respond this way or that way, because you don't even have the bare minimum it takes to qualify to being a human being. Yeah. So you definitely can't tell me shit about how to live my life or what I need to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, ever since then, there's just nothing about being a fan can be taken seriously for me. It's all fun and games for the most part until like people jump out their lane and start trying to hurt idols. Then yeah, I take that shit very seriously.
Oh yeah.
But all this, oh, I don't like your group because you guys suck. That kind of stuff, you can't hurt my feelings. You can't tell me anything about that because I've seen the ugly side of fandom.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen what it's like, and there's just, you can't take it seriously. You absolutely cannot take it seriously because then they do off the wall, outlandish, crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
That no sane person would do.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about like sasaengs back in the day, like feeding
idols glue.
Obviously there might be some lurking around now, but
yeah.
It was like a huge problem 8, 10 some odd years ago. It was a problem. People were getting hurt and could damn near die.
Oh yeah.
Because it was such a problem. Like following, sending people letters with period blood and pubic hair.
That was what, just 2 or 3 years ago with Big Bang? Didn't some girl send Taeyong like some period blood or something?
Or was it? It was a GD. Somebody. Like a few years ago, it was either someone in Big Bang or some shit. Something like that, you know what I'm saying? People putting glue in people's drinks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Purposely assaulting people so they can assault you back so you can say, oh, that person, I was in that person's brain and all this other shit. And
a couple of years ago, A-Pink had a bunch of death threats sent to their
The whole
concerts.
thing with A-Pink, yeah, the bond. What happened? Did they find this dude? Last time I checked, the dude was in Canada. And
then recently, Changmin had to get some sasaeng off of him. And everybody's like, I can't believe you threw that lady to the ground. And he's like, well, you should have seen what she was doing before this happened.
I mean, just TVXQ alone,
man,
have been through it. Like people outside their apartments, people breaking into their apartments, people hacking their phones.
Exos had people follow them into the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Like girls literally shaved their heads to look like men, went to the men's bathroom so they can be like, I was in the same bathroom as EXO. Like dead ass. Like, I mean, was it like a couple years ago, it was like photos of like Suho in the hotel gym. I think it was old pictures though, but like Luhan was in his hotel room. People like put cameras in their hotel rooms, and people have stolen things from their apartments.
Have gone to their family's weddings.
Yeah.
You know, probably have tried to sit outside people's funerals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's never ending. It's never
so,
ending.
Y'all new fans, y'all ain't had the experience. Yes,
Yeah.
I mean y'all had experienced some crazy shit, but never to the fucking level of what it was years ago.
Yeah.
Never.
You know, wait till you have your cherry broken. Man, 2014 was the year though, because it was 2014, wasn't it? The Saywall, and then like most of XOM left, and then the ladies' code thing happened.
Jessica left. The whole bomb situation.
Oh man.
The whole the whole Taeyeon and Baekhyun situation when they got together and.
Yeah, which everybody said was to like get away from the fact that so many members of EXO were leaving, and just what a year.
People talk. I mean, that was a really rough year. But yeah, it's like y'all don't know, man. Y'all don't, and it's like we talked about this because people don't. It's like we're not trying to sit here and act like K-pop is this evil place, but it's not all lollipops and rainbows and bubblegum. Like.
You could actually do an entire TV series about like the dark side of K-pop, and you could just take case studies of different things that happened, and you can go all the way back to first generation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of the idol, but it was an idol who was a rapper whose girlfriend killed him, and she got off because she was an heiress.
I think so. So I think I may have.
Because I remember Vix went on Immortal song, and they did his song, and Robbie changed the lyrics of the rap to like, you know, and your accuser never gets caught, like some like subtweet kind of thing to her.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, but like even back then, scandal, and so I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot there, and this stuff that y'all are whining and everything else about, wait till some real shit happens.
I'm telling you, Google is your friend. You want to know? Google it. I'm telling you, like. I mean, and then even thinking about girls selling themselves so they can pay off these taxi drivers to follow them around the whole city to follow these idols. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was serious. It was really serious then. So it's like, I'm telling you, like the shit y'all beefing about is high key. It's absolutely relevant.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. So I'm telling you, like. We're not saying, you know, it's like it's reality. Like this is what happens in K-pop. Now, I mean, obviously, it's like I said, it's not all evil. No, but it's real shit happens.
Yeah,
it's real life. Like it affects real people, and people don't really get that. Like it's like a smoke and mirror. Like they think K-pop is all flashing lights. I'm like,
and to a large extent, new fans think that Korea is K-pop or Korea is K-dramas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. Like, if you look at the actual news in Korea, you know, there's big issues with women's rights right now, just like it is everywhere for the most part. But still, like, the whole thing with Yuchen from JYJ, the judge in the case, the prosecutors, the lawyers, when you hear some of the stuff they said about the female accuser and why this didn't qualify as rape because it happened in the bathroom or because she had sex for a living, all these things, like totally antiquated thoughts about sex workers and women in general. That is a widespread attitude. The fact that someone like KHJ could injure his partner to the point that she breaks a bone, and he can drag her through mud, and they can beat each other up in public, have a kid, still beat each other up in public,
she was
all of this, and he still has a fan base that is excited to hear that he's touring and wants to give him money. Like, I'm telling you now, there's a society behind that kind of thinking that allows that shit to happen. You know, and that's the reason why I just say, once you get to be an older fan, it's really hard to take a lot of this stuff that people are talking about seriously, because you know what the reality of it is, and you know that it's not picture perfect. You know, Nobody wants to talk about the fact that, all these beautiful clothes you see K-idols wearing and stuff like that. There's a big bootleg culture in Korea.
Oh yeah.
There's a big debt culture in Korea. A lot of people borrowing money so they can floss and have the latest because that's considered something you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you got loan sharks after you. Nobody talks about the fact that, for a woman, once you get married, your life as an independent being is practically over, which is why so many women wait until they're in their late 20s to get married, because they know, like, professional ambitions, anything that you want to do for yourself, it's second to whatever your husband needs, and then even to what your kids need. You're the lowest part of the totem pole in that equation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like there were some comments.
Okay, yeah, so Jazz said it's very true that many of the issues now are stuff that shouldn't be worried about. And also Anthony says no one wants to talk about blackface.
It's not that no one wants to talk about blackface, it's that no one in Korea wants to talk about blackface.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, international fans, especially fans of a certain hue, we don't mind talking about blackface. But in Korea, they don't want to talk about it. And they don't want to talk about it because, again, as was kind of alluded to, appearances are important.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to talk about that because they don't want to talk about a problem. Korea is very resistant to change. The patriarchy is the way it is for a reason. And so talking about women's rights, talking about blackface, talking about non-heterogeneous populations, when you're talking about a group that has had such a strong identity for so long, and people from the outside are asking them to change to accommodate ways of thought outside of this culture that they've had for so long, Korea is doing what anybody would do. They're pushing back. And so, no, they don't want to talk about blackface because for them, there's hardly any black people in Korea anyway to be offended.
Right.
For them, they're saying, well, we only do blackface because we're talking about funny things having to do with black people. And they don't see it as we're being offensive to you. It's you don't understand us. And when it's a you don't understand us, it's a defensiveness. It's a position of I'm being attacked.
Right.
And so that's why you have Mama Moo's manager giving an apology to international fans and then telling Korean fans, oh, it was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, and then also gay rights. You can be gay, but you can't be open about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can sleep with as many men as you want, especially if you're married, no big deal.
But don't let me catch you walking hand in hand with
don't hold hands. No. Don't try to get married. Don't try to adopt kids. Don't even ask to be recognized as gay.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do that stuff, do it in the shadows, in the dark, possibly in a dangerous way, potentially endanger your family because of your putting your safety and their safety at risk. That's fine. But you cannot be out here in these streets rainbowing around. You can't do it.
Yeah, and they're saying that no one wants to talk about mental illness because of its stigma. Absolutely. On my channel, I've talked a lot about mental illness and my struggles with mental illness. I've never been afraid of that because I know people can relate to me, and I know there's other people that can relate to me. So that's something that I've always stressed out about when it comes to just Korean entertainment, that yes, mental illness needs to be taken way more seriously because we don't want another Jonghyun to happen, or any other person that has taken their life for whatever reason. We don't want that to happen, but like you just said,
it will. Because it's a part of culture. It's a culture that, again, appearance is everything, respectability is everything. Acknowledging that you have a defect. And a defect that can't even be seen. Nobody wants to acknowledge that. Nobody wants to look at you, the individual, and be like, okay, well, maybe you need special care. Instead, it's like, okay, well, you need to get over that shit because we've got deadlines approaching. We've got things we need to do. You need to be ready to do them with us.
Right.
We can't break for you. And in a culture where talking about an inner weakness, talking about an inner feeling, talking about an inability to cope. It's just not there. Or when it is alluded to, it's alluded to softly. Like it's just, I know you're stressed, take time to breathe. Have things been hard on you? Are you eating good?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff instead of being like, when's the last time you talked to a professional? If a professional will actually talk to you and take what you say seriously.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's not talked about because no one wants to put a public face on a private shame. And for them, it's a private shame. And it is a shame that it is a private shame.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be.
No.
You know, there's nothing wrong with needing help. There's nothing wrong with, in fact, you already won half the battle by acknowledging, hey, I think there's something going on here.
Yeah. You know, it's never afraid to say, hey, I'm not happy all the time. Sometimes I am sad. Sometimes I feel this or that. You know, so it's like I applaud people. I mean, because Junghyun has done that as well. So he was never afraid to say, oh, you know, I'm feeling sad. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like to kind of hopefully to prevent things that, again, it shouldn't be a stigma because it's happening everywhere.
And you know, it's even sadder to me that, like, you would think 6 months out, everyone's learned their lesson, we're definitely more aware, we're more open, we want to talk to people. We had what's her face from A Pink, they thought that she was alluding to something suicidal. The little boy from Top Dog, Simon Dominic tried to talk about his depression. They're like, well, you were still eating, weren't you? And he's like, depression doesn't mean I'm not eating.
Yeah.
You know, depression doesn't mean I'm walking around crying all the time.
Yeah.
I can still laugh and eat and have fun with my friends and family and still have a lingering, deep-seated depression.
Yeah.
So, you know, just because something is inside of you doesn't mean you don't know how to act on the exterior. So just acknowledging that the problem is there is half the battle. But again, you think 6 months out, we'd be like, okay, we're not going to make this mistake no more. We've learned our lesson. We're going to really get this thing together.
Exactly.
Nope. No. It's just the same old, okay, well, that happened. Let's go ahead and kind of brush that under the rug and let's keep it moving. Like, that's the one thing that I think has marred SHINee's comeback the most for me. And not the fact that, you know, I miss Junghyun so much and just, you know, I'm sad that he can't be here because for the most part this comeback has been very positive for me. But it still remains that we can't talk about what Junghyun did to himself. We can acknowledge all day long that he's gone. We can acknowledge all day long how much he mattered to us. We can acknowledge all day long that things will never be the same, but we'll try to operate in his memory and give it the most respect possible. But no one in any of the interviews, in any of the press, and I'm not expecting SHINee to do this because they've been through enough, but no one else, it seems, has been like, and part of the comeback is going to be a donation to mental health services in Korea.
Yeah.
You know, just a little something to say that not only do we miss him, but we want to ensure that no one else has to go through this.
Absolutely.
And I don't think the day is going to come that it will. I really don't think the day is going to come that it will.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because I think that is the thing that I would love to have seen in this comeback is at some point them talking about how to do something good out of something so tragic. Even though I will give credit to the members of SHINee because they did acknowledge that they are currently in counseling behind this. And that's huge.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is huge to say, like, I can't handle this grief. And in order for me to continue on, I've got to talk to a professional. Like, that in and of itself is a political statement.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if, along with acknowledging how much we miss him, how much we love him, and how sad we are, if we had a way of doing something that takes into account why we don't have Junghyun anymore.
Right.
That would be really, really nice.
Yeah. And then just like you said, when SHINee mentioned the fact that they are taking therapy, I feel like all groups should do this. Not just for mental health, but just if you have any frustrations or anything you're stressing about, that you can say it in an open space. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you may not want to say it to your members because you don't want to cause any issues. But I feel like just as a group, be like, hey, such and such, you did something I didn't like, blah blah blah, talk it out, hug it out, cry it out. I feel like things like it would, it would kind of, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like all these groups are all like lovey-dovey, hunky-dory, like they don't have issues. Like, I may not like this member that day because he done pissed me off, or I'm just not feeling anybody that day. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that could be another way to kind of just get out what you're feeling, because sometimes seen so many people say, I'm not good at expressing my emotions, or I'm kind of like, I'm not really good at telling people, like, I don't like to, what's the word I'm trying to go with, just trying to like show like emotions and things like that, because people have said that.
Yeah, some people aren't good at vocalizing what they're feeling, so.
Yes, that's what I was going for. I was kind of got like stuck, but you get what I'm saying. So I feel like that way, let's say, it doesn't matter group big or small. That way, you can kind of have a group discussion. Be like, hey, just down the third, and you work from there. Because I mean, if I've seen stuff about Hit the Stage, I think V and Jen had an issue. They had like a fight, and people were like shocked. I'm like, well, yeah, like
run the stage.
Burn the stage.
Burn the stage.
Sorry. Yeah, burn the stage. And people were like, oh, what? They had a fight? I'm like, yeah, like they live together. I see you every single day.
Has no one fought with their family before?
Right, like
you
it
see
happens.
those people day in and day out.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get on your nerves. You love them.
Yeah.
You give them your kidney, but at the same time, you're like, if you don't get the fuck away from me right now.
Right.
It's gonna be problems.
Yeah, so it was like surprising. People like shocked that I'm like, yeah, like just because they may have had a disagreement or fight, they don't mean they hate each other. It's just, shit happens.
Yeah, close quarters.
Yeah, like you're literally around each other 20, you're there with them more than you're with your own family. And that's real. So sometimes you be like, I don't fucking like you today.
Yeah. Not only that, but like just the idea of celebrity, people need counseling for that.
Yeah.
Because it is a world that most individuals will never know.
No.
Not only just like being rich, but being super famous and super visible and being rich.
Right.
There's a lot of paranoia that comes with that. Not knowing who you can trust, how you can trust them, who's going to betray you. Not knowing how to communicate with people that you've been communicating with all your life,
right?
Because now you're experiencing a world that they don't have access to, and maybe them looking in from the outside, they expect you to deal with things one way, and you're having to deal with them with another way because of this lifestyle. Right. And that's something where definitely being a counselor could come in handy. Just to have somebody say, how do I communicate with people in my life who may be expecting something of me that I can't deliver because of my professional obligations? Right. How many of these idols had friends before they became idols that when they're with their friends expect them to catch the bill every time they go out because they're the big famous idol.
Exactly.
Or their friends expect them to help them start businesses or help them go to school because you're the big famous idol.
You can help me out.
Yeah, or how many of them have friends who were like, I don't want to really have anything to do with you because you just had a scandal and I'm trying to work for a living and I can't have people think that I'm involved in your scandal.
Right.
Those are all things that a normal person might not understand how to deal with because they didn't grow up in that and they haven't been exposed to it. And then all of a sudden it's in your face right away, super fast.
Yeah, and I think these companies, they don't really prepare their artists to deal with fame because it will hit you fast, and not that many people can handle it. They can't, you know what I'm saying? Just the constant schedules and eating, the dieting, and just being busy, no sleeping, like
lack of privacy.
Yeah, you can't be in a relationship. You gotta like. You know what I'm saying? You can't be with a significant other because you're afraid that people are going to hate you for it, and you're afraid that either the fans going to hate you, your company's going to hate you, blah, blah, blah. You can't have a life.
No ownership of yourself because you always have to watch every single thing you say all the time. How many times have any of us ever said something stupid on social media? or said something stupid in a YouTube video.
Right.
Here I am cursing and screaming at y'all. Did that. Totally did that. If I was an idol, there's no way I could do that. You can watch What the Pineapple all day long. How many cuss words does Amber say in her videos? And this is supposed to be her in her free time with her friends.
Yeah.
And still, it is completely PG.
Yeah.
Because Amber knows, even when I turn it off, I'm still on.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. Oh, someone's okay. Oh, got some stuff. Okay, so Josh said there's a mental silo where they've only been around their own their own like-minded people, so they are resistant to new ideas and mindsets. I think that's kind of going with
the Korean culture thing that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I think. Okay. And there was some more stuff after that.
And it was like, oh yeah, there's the crazy diets going around, idols not getting enough sleep at all, etc. Idols being overworked and yet not getting paid. And also Jazz was like, also I think all the people should go to therapy, learning how to self-reflect and cope with emotions, and a valuable skill. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there should be some preparedness. If you can prepare a kid to dance and sing and interact on Variety,
Right.
you just as much need to prepare them for living a life that's no longer their own.
Absolutely.
You know, and furnishing them with an exit plan. Because that's another thing. I think that when the lights start to dim and you're not getting as many love calls and the comebacks aren't really coming, how do you transition back into normal life? That's something that somebody from UKIS could probably use.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do you do when you're no longer near the top and you're on your way down? How do you transition out of that? You know, how much is it being discussed with idols about make sure that you're investing your money, make sure you're trying to start your own businesses, make sure that you've made a way for you to go back to school if that's what you want to do. Like, all those things to prepare you for the day when idolhood is not in the realm of things you can continue to do. Because Lord willing, all of our idols reach their 80s or 90s or 100s, whatever.
Right.
But hopefully they all live long, full lives. But this idol thing, this is a young man's game. You don't see 50-year-old idols like that. I mean, JYP is about as close as you're getting to it. But most idols, they peter out in their late 20s, early 30s, and then it's time to do something else. And we need to be preparing them for what something else is.
Yeah.
Even if it's just staying in the industry in a non-performance role. If it's songwriting, choreographing, being the artistic coordinator, doing managerial stuff, whatever the context is,
Right.
giving them those options, because I think that contributes a lot to kind of the hopelessness that people feel when they can't do this anymore. They're like, okay, well, I've spent my entire adolescence, young adult life pursuing this dream. Now it looks like this is not going to happen. I can't go back to school at this age. I don't have a work history, really. I don't know what to do.
Right.
I've failed, especially for the ones that fail. Then what do you do?
Yeah, Lily, what do you do?
You know, what did the girls in the group, what's the name of the group? They were on Big Hit.
Glam?
Yeah, what did the girls from Glam do when their dreams were robbed from them because of somebody else's bad decision?
Yeah.
What do they do?
Yeah.
You know, so there should be counseling for that for sure. That should be part of your training is do this for us and we'll show you how to do things after this is over.
Yeah. I mean, people like Madtown, you know, the legend.
Mm-hmm.
I can go on.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
What I'm saying?
There's
Like,
so many.
Yeah. Or you know what I'm saying? Just like when Dong Ho, he was 20 and he like, yeah, I'm not doing this industry shit no more. And he went and just had a normal life. And I know people were upset, but at the same time, again, like I said, this idol shit ain't for everybody. And,
Yeah.
you know, you really have to, and it always cracks me up when I hear people say, oh my God, I want to be an idol. I'm like, do you really?
And what do you do when your health is compromised too?
Exactly.
What if you're AJ from UKIS?
Right. Where you have to like literally get like, what was it, heart surgery?
Yeah, heart surgery.
Yeah, like he's like young, like not many people at his age should be getting heart surgery.
You know, thank God he's in an Ivy League school, so he's probably getting a degree that he'll be able to use later on to support his lifestyle. But it sounds like what was happening with him prevents him from ever really being an idol again, because strenuous physical work doesn't seem to be in his future. So, you know, what if that's what brings you down? What if you're an idol in a company doing great, top of the charts, and you fall off the stage, break your leg, and it's repairable, but you'll never dance again? Or you're
like a Heechul.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Heechul, he can't really dance and super, like, you know, when you see him kind of go off the stage, he can't dance because of the accident.
Or a freak accident where you're dining in a restaurant and you're walking through a doorway and the doorway falls on you and you practically lose your arm and you're a guitar player. Royal Pirates.
If you didn't know what we were talking about, yeah, Royal Pirates, yeah.
So these things happen. What do you do after that? What is plan B?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a question I need answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always get worried when I hear people getting injured, especially dancers, because one move can take you out, and absolutely. You are dancing no more.
You land wrong on that ankle, or on that kneecap, or that elbow, or that shoulder, and it's over.
Right, especially people who have multiple injuries, like, oh, I've injured my ankle, I've injured my knee, like, what happens? Like, really, what happens? And that worries me a lot. Absolutely.
Pain management is another therapy that needs to be offered to idols, because, you know, most people who do physical jobs that have that much impact, you know, jumping and, you know, twisting and stomping for dancing, arthritis, bad knees, bad joints, you know, bone problems, soft tissue problems, those are all in their future as well. Those aren't things that are addressed. And that's how you end up with celebrities, several Western celebrities, addicted to opiates and other things for pain management.
Right.
You know, so that's something that needs to be addressed as well. Because some people could go on to do things in the future, but they get addicted to forms of pain management that aren't that great. So
yeah. Oh, and Anthony made another point. You know, singers, especially if they lose their voice and they can't sing again, breathing problems too as well. And someone said, I feel bad for these idols. One more wrong move and you're done. Prime example with the voice. SZA, right? SZA, she had to get surgery for her voice, and it was like they didn't think she was gonna be able to sing again because of how worn, like how much she's been singing.
Shania Twain for years didn't sing.
Yeah. Daehyun from BAP, he had issues with his voice because, I mean, years of constantly hitting them high notes, it ruined his voice. Like, honestly, I can tell you, like, the difference between seeing him 2013 and 2014 was completely different. He sounded great 2013, 2014, he didn't sound that high. And I think that kind of ruined his, like, it's gotten better, but I don't really think he's really can sing like that.
And not anymore. All companies give you good vocal training.
True.
Park Bom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for years, people have talked about the fact that YG, in his quest for a unique vocal, didn't really make sure that Park Bom's voice had been trained accurately.
Right.
And it's one thing to be in practice and have that unique quality. It's quite another to take that unique voice on tour. And I think it ruined her voice in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the very last comebacks, her presence on songs dwindled and dwindled and dwindled.
It was given more to, like, CL.
Yeah.
And Minzy. Yeah.
So that's another thing. You can lose it simply by not having best practices.
That's true too.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, especially not having a lot of vocal rest, because, you know what I'm saying, like, if you constantly singing, you're going to wear out your voice. Mm-hmm. And that could really damage you. Onu, he had to get surgery for his voice. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying, it's serious. So I remember Becca from News had to do surgery for his throat. Yeah, Yosef had to get something like that as well. So like, there's plenty of people that have to get some type of surgery for their voice because, especially like really powerful voices like Yosef and stuff.
Celine Dion's had surgery before. Like, it's very common.
Adele?
Solgi.
Yes, I think her too. Yeah.
Not Solgi, but Sol G from EXID.
Yeah.
We don't know when she's gonna come back.
Yeah, I mean, people. It was really.
She's gonna come back.
Yeah, because I mean, her illness is a serious illness, and I know people like, oh, she's coming back. She's coming back. I'm like, but she has a serious illness. She can't just jump in. I'm like,
yeah, and health is keeping her from her career.
Yeah, so
a career that she actually kind of lucked out on because for years she was a vocal trainer for idols, and accidentally managed to fill this spot in EXID and blew up from there. And now that's all kind of to the wind. You know, it could come back or it couldn't.
So I remember Wendy before Red Velvet debuted, she heard her voice back in 2013 and she couldn't get surgery, so she had to get injections. Oh, Lord.
And, you know, unhealthy things that idols do to stay in the game. You know, as an African American person, I can tell you that there was a certain miniseries about the Temptations that I watched very closely when it came out. And I remember Blue, who ended up in a wheelchair by the end of the series because he's getting cortisone injections in his knees so he could keep dancing. You know, there's a lot of stuff people do so that the show can go on. And it's not always the healthiest thing in the world you could do to make the show go on. But managers don't want to hear that. Companies don't want to hear that. No. And fans don't want to hear that. I mean, we all say we would love for you to get healthy, we hope you feel better, yada, yada, yada. But if you're not going to be at the concert, I might want to get my money back because you couldn't make it because you weren't feeling good.
Got 7. Young Jay, he got sick and he couldn't do, I think, most of the tour, or at least a couple days. People want their money back. And I'm like, but the dude is he's sick and he can't sing.
And you're still getting all
the members sing Shawol. I mean, I don't think people like didn't come, but people were like pissed or like not really pissed. People were like really upset that Shawol he was only able to come to like the very last show. And you know, at first people were all like, oh my god, he's not coming. I'm like, but he was really sick. So it's like, it is what it is. It's like, you can't come. I would rather you stay in Korea, get better. You can always come back to America. If God willing, you can come back. But I would rather you get your health back to 100% than to push yourself to knowing that you're not going to get 100% on doing your performance. You know, but yeah. But we were almost 3 hours. We supposed to get off here like almost an hour ago. But child, we done got deep in the conversation. Like I said, things that need to be talked about because people don't talk about it because they try to sweep it under the rug and act like it don't exist. But I'm glad that you guys agree and you guys put your 2 cents, so you know we're not just like kind of like talking to ourselves here.
And just a brief recap in case you decide to watch this broadcast after it's over. We talked about Produce 48, the latest episode. We talked about NCT and what is a concept at this point.
Yes.
We talked briefly about ideas for the new seasons of Produce 101. We talked about Shiny a little bit, which is how we kind of got into other conversations.
Block B.
We talked about Block B for quite a while.
Yeah, we talked about Block B. We talked about Tail on the call, which led to Block B, which led to Shiny. And then we talked about just various issues and
why fandoms are annoying.
Yeah.
All fandoms. All fandoms, including my own.
Same here.
My gosh, when Onu's scandal happened and people were OT4ing out there, I remember thinking, what world am I in?
Same. People was like trying to kick Top out of Big Bang with the fucking quickness. It's like,
again,
he smokes weed. Kick him out the
What
room.
world were we in?
Yes, all fandoms are problematic. Yeah, people don't like to hear that, but they are.
Yeah, all of them. And they're problematic because fandoms are filled with human beings, and human beings are far from perfect. Just watch the news. Human beings are far from perfect.
Yeah.
And fandoms are filled with human beings. The bigger your fandom, the more flaw-ass people you probably have. So, and that's just a percentages game.
Yeah.
Just a percentages game. So, no fandom is without flaws. No fandom is perfect. We all got our things. But, definitely the bigger your fandom is, the more visible they are. And so the more the things that they do, their antics tend to be kind of more front page news.
Yeah.
But we've all had to deal with somebody in the fandom fucking it up for the rest of us.
Right.
So, yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, and we talked about just like kind of like the dark side of K-pop, new fans not experiencing what we older fans and you guys as well have experienced with various things throughout the years as being older fans, and leading into mental health and to what we recently just talked about. So this is kind of like a recap. So as I said, it's 3 hours, and we don't normally plan these to be long, but once we get to talking and we interact with y'all, it kind of gets. Usually with me, it kind of gets these long. Y'all shouldn't be surprised with me. These shits tend to get long, but like I said, it's conversations that need to be had, and we weren't just talking when we were talking to ourselves for a bit, but having you guys put in your input. So it's kind of like a discussion.
It's a discussion.
Yeah.
Because, there's not very many avenues where you can have these discussions. And, I guess in the event you need some backup for something, show them this video. Like, hey, there's people that agree with me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, definitely in the current climate for what's popular in terms of YouTube and K-pop, it is either reactions where everything is fucking phenomenal and I've never seen it before and how exciting and interesting, or it is, here's all the shit that I bought, aren't you mad because you can't buy the same shit I got? And few and far in between are the channels or the people that have the conversations about, by the way, did you realize this is what's actually going on behind the scenes of this dream that you're promoting?
Yeah.
And you need to keep it in mind all the time, because when it finally happens to your group, you don't want to be caught unawares. I pray that what I've experienced as a fan never happens to your faves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't wish that on anybody, because I'm not an evil person.
No.
But I will say, having witnessed these things happen before in K-pop.
Yeah.
And having actually listened to things that were said from people, it wasn't so much, I'm so shocked that anyone could ever do this. It was more like, I didn't know it had gotten this bad for you. I knew it was bad. I didn't know it had gotten this bad. And knowing what it was before you could confirm what it was.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst part of that day, was like, I knew what it was before I even knew what it was. Gosh, hooey. I've already talked about how, there's a video on my channel where I talk about like what that morning was like, but I still cannot get over the fact that like, when I found out what happened, I was like, it's one of two things. He either got in a car accident or he killed himself. And I knew that's what it was. I knew it wasn't an illness. I knew it wasn't anything else. It had to either be a freak accident or he killed himself. And for that to be one of the two options in that equation, if that doesn't say something about the state of K-pop and mental health in K-pop,
I don't know what it is.
So I hope that never happens to your faves.
No.
But the fact that that was even on the table just goes to show there's a problem here. A problem that needs to be addressed, because it will happen again. It's not an if, it is a when.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get a reprieve for several more years, but it will happen again, because we're not taking the steps we need to make sure it doesn't happen again. All right, y'all.
Dude.
Well, on that note, sweet dreams.
What a way to end this. But I mean, like I said, it's things need to happen.
I feel like that old man on the street corner with the bell talking about the end is near. Repent.
Right. But I mean, like I said, these things need to happen, and that's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you came to see us. Because you want to put in your input.
Because you like that dark shit.
I feel like it's not just dark, it's reality.
Yeah.
It's absolutely reality.
It's reality. But also a dash of emo.
Yeah.
A little black liner.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, it tends to go that route.
Yeah.
But we're not afraid to go there.
Yeah,
Some
baby,
people
I
are.
like it sad.
Yeah, so with that, we are going to get out of here. Thank you guys for joining us. I keep these up even though these things are like really long.
It's been real.
It's been real. It's been real. It's just been real. But
real.
Thank you guys for joining us. And like I said, we're not doing this every episode, but we just had to talk about episode 3.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna try to do as many episodes as we can as we are together.
Yeah.
And then, you know, once we're not together, of course, then, you know, we can't physically spend time and space. But we will try to talk about it through as much of the season as we can together.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's something that I've always wanted to do, following one of these shows. And also, it is really nice to talk about because it does bring up a lot of other things in the conversation. It's not just about who did good on a performance, but it really is talking about like everything that surrounds the fact that this is interesting.
Right.
Yeah. There's more comments, I guess.
Oh, they're just saying good night.
Oh, night night.
So yes, again, thank you guys for joining us. And we guys, like I said, don't know when we'll do this again. But it'll be, like I said, while I'm still here, we'll do this periodically and stuff like that. Hopefully they don't get this deep every time we do this.
I know, I was talking about some nice stuff.
Yeah, hopefully the next time it's not going to be like the real. Hopefully be like some nice shit. But
yeah, hopefully the next time we talk, it'll be about that J Park sex tape. I'm willing that into existence. I'm willing it into existence.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like all dark and deep and sad and shit. Yeah, like this is not every live stream. I swear it's not like everyone.
Just
but
when you're with me.
But yeah, so again, thank you guys for coming, and I hope you guys have a good night. Night, guys.